watching the Stanford, and he's got a great shot.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Best of luck tonight. Let's go get this one, because last home game of the season, and no better way than obviously to come out with a win.
Absolutely. Let's get it win.
Coach Fuller talking about tonight's final home contest of the season, second to last game before we take on Green Bay on the road next weekend. So it's coming up next right here on the Axemen Radio Network. Stay tuned.
Holiday Inn Express in Bemidji welcomes indoor football teams and fans. Begin your game day with their smart breakfast and complete your game day by enjoying their convenient amenities, such as pool, sauna, hot tub, and free wireless internet. Stay smart. Book now at Holiday Inn Express in Bemidji. Call them today at 218-751-2487. Holiday Inn Express located at 2422 Ridgeway Avenue Northwest in Bemidji.
Welcome back, everyone, right here on the Axemen Radio Network of AM 820, WBKK 103.1 FM, and AM 870 KPRM over there in Park Rapids. And, Bill, we talked about it earlier already. Cedar Rapids and Bemidji, just how it's becoming a rivalry slowly. But keys tonight for the Axemen to victory.
I think they just have to come out and, they have to execute their game plan to perfection. I think they need to make sure that they are on top of their game on all phases of the football game. If they don't, I don't think they're going to be able to come out on top tonight.
Yeah, I think at least for my keys to victory tonight, getting off to a fast start. They did it against Texas last week, but being able to maintain it throughout the game, stay consistent, and really just be able to execute on some plays. And if you find a good play or two that really works against defenses, keep attacking until they stop it. And that's one thing we didn't see last week.
Absolutely. We both kind of questioned that a little bit with the play calling. And, we both kind of figured that, the coaches have got a lot more tape on the team than we had, but we couldn't quite understand why we didn't go back to some of the plays that seemed to have such great success in the first quarter. Hopefully they find something worse tonight. They go to it more often than not and, make Cedar Rapids stop it.
Yeah, you're right. And one thing to talk about tonight, Bill, wide receiver Ryan Ballantyne quieted last week against the Revolution. Some credit give to the Revolution for stopping him, maybe packaging a defense that really just targeted Ballantyne in the passing game, because he only had, I think, in that last game, obviously, as we look at it right now, just the 6 for 54. And you might say, that's still not a bad night for Ballantyne, though. That's, I think, below average. He averages 70 to 75 yards a game, at least in receiving. So it'll be a key for tonight for Josh Ockery to be able to get the ball in the hands of Ryan Ballantyne.
Yeah, and obviously when you've got a receiver that's got the talent of Ryan Ballantyne, you got to get the ball in his hands and let him do what he does. And, last week Texas had just a hellacious pass rush coming at the Axemen. Cody Kirby was not able to escape the game injury-free. So we will see Josh Ockery, and I'm interested to see how the Bethel product will do against a team like Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, Ockery actually got his first opportunity in some play action against the Cedar Rapids Titans in that first regular season road matchup in Cedar Rapids, when that was the game Hunter Wonkett played his last time ever, at least this season, with the Bemidji Axemen. And Josh Ockery came in, threw a touchdown pass, a tall one to, or a high one very much to Nick Truesdell, made some plays, drove them down the field, and actually kept the Axemen in that game. So I've actually seen, Bill, that this kid does have some pretty solid ability.
Yeah, you've been able to travel with the team and see him play a little bit. I have not, as he's gotten only a couple of pop-up duty deals with the Axemen here at home. So we'll see what he's got in him.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for his opportunity. Obviously, I'm disappointed that with the injury to Cody Kirby, such a fine athlete to watch, but I think Kirby's going to do what he can really to keep Ockery focused and just on cue tonight with the team and keep this team from crumbling as it did last week. The offense production 6 points in the second half.
Yeah, that was very disappointing watching them come on and put up 21 so quickly, and then to see that lead just, basically erode away. There was nothing sadder than watching a team fall apart and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, and I think it'll really come down to, as we talked about, getting off to a fast start, being able to maintain that throughout the entire game, protecting your quarterback, which is what our offensive line has struggled with all season long. Obviously, Cody Kirby was victim to that. Hunter Rocket's been victim to that. And now Josh Ockery, he's going to get an opportunity tonight, and hopefully he takes advantage of it. And Cedar Rapids, of course, the second-ranked defense in the IFL, Bill, all slouch against them tonight.
Yeah, we got that going on, and as you said, the offensive line has got to play better. I was really not happy with the way they played last week. I thought that they were poor at best. And quite honestly, if that doesn't change, whether it's the blocking schemes, the protection schemes, or just the hard desire of the players, I guess, I don't know. I'm not in the locker room with them. But they've got to step up tonight, as does the pass defense of the Axemen.
They really do. And Cedar Rapids, of course, as we talked about, had a wake-up call last week in Green Bay, back-to-back times playing the Blizzard. They beat them by just 10 on their home field, and then got beaten by 19 in Green Bay, but were once down by 30 in that game. So they got, as you said, a scare and a wake-up call from the Blizzard, and obviously a defeat, so their third defeat of the season. So they're going to have something to prove tonight as well.
Yeah, they really are. They're going to have to come out and prove that they are capable of taking care of every team, because as Coach Fuller said, in this league, everyone's talented. Anyone can beat you on any night if you don't come to play.
And it's really true. I mean, going back to that game, Bill, just looking at it, obviously we weren't there, of course, broadcasting here, but they really took it to him. Spencer Ohm doesn't really turn the ball over a whole lot, but he was flustered. 3 picks on the night, and when you turn the ball over and get beaten by turnovers like that, that's what's going to happen. A team even like Green Bay with a lot of talent, at least on the offensive side of the ball, is going to take it to you. They're going to take advantage of those opportunities like they did against Cedar Rapids.
Absolutely, and if you don't come to play, granted Cedar Rapids had that great defense, Green Bay had that great offense, and last week the great offense won over.
Well, that's the keys tonight, Bill. Winning the turnover battle, staying consistent, and being able to overcome this Cedar Rapids team that obviously is already playoff bound. But you got to be able to if you want to be the best, at least for the future, you got to be able to beat the best. And tonight, stepping home with a victory. Last game this season at Palace Casino Field. Axemen got to do it. But coming up next here, we'll have the national anthem, followed by the color guard and the Pledge of Allegiance. Right up next, back in 3 minutes right here on the Axemen Radio Network.
Sterling Silver Premium Beef provides culinary inspiration. Hi, I'm Brent from Lucan's. Lucan's Village Foods strives to provide customers with the highest quality meats at an affordable price. So we chose Sterling Silver Beef. This beef, rich in marbling, is aged twice as long as ordinary beef. The results, an unsurpassed cut of tender, juicy, flavorful beef. Come taste the difference with Sterling Silver Beef, exclusively at Lucan's Village Foods, where the food enthusiasts shop.
It's Strawberry Festival time at Perkins. Celebrate with 6 new items like the fresh strawberry and bacon pancake platter with 3 buttermilk pancakes topped with glazed strawberries and smoked bacon, plus 2 large eggs cooked to order. Or try out the fresh strawberry chicken salad with fresh sliced strawberries and seasoned chicken breasts piled on garden greens with a mustard balsamic vinaigrette, Asiago cheese, and slivered almonds. It's Strawberry Festival time at Perkins for a limited time only. Perkins, get yours before we're fresh out.
It is retirement planning season, and the number of options can be confusing. Individuals have the option to use traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Businesses can use simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, defined benefit pension plans, profit-sharing plans, 403B plans, 401k or Roth 401k plans. As an employee, you might have access to one of these plans through your employer, and it is very important to take advantage of matching contributions. Who can help you with the confusing rules of retirement planning? Call Alan Zutz, a certified financial planner and financial associate with Thrivent Financial for Lutherans at 444-0202.
Make your home a smart home with Paul Bunyan Communications. There are a lot of different options available, like door window sensors, light switches, thermostats, door locks, video cameras, garage door sensors, and a lot more. All controlled by you, remotely. Plus you can get text alerts and email alerts. It's the latest in technology, and it's now available from your local cooperative. Make your home a smart home. Get smart home services from Paul Bunyan Communications. Equipment warranty and liability disclaimer apply. Call for details.
Holiday Inn Express in Bemidji welcomes indoor football teams and fans. Begin your game day with their smart breakfast and complete your game day by enjoying their convenient amenities, such as pool, sauna, hot tub, and free wireless internet. Stay smart. Book now at Holiday Inn Express in Bemidji. Call them today at 218-751-2487. Holiday Inn Express located at 2422 Ridgeway Avenue Northwest in Bemidji. Are you looking for a fun and exciting career? Have you ever thought about radio? 91.5 FM and AM 820 WBKK are looking to fill sales representative positions. They're now taking resumes. Email your resume to kkwb102@paulbunyan.net or stop by our studios at 324 Beltrami Avenue. If you have a desire to work hard and have a lot of fun, we are interested. Come and join a rewarding career in sales and marketing. 91.5 FM is an equal opportunity employer for Bemidji Radio Incorporated.
How many times in sports have you heard the phrase, you just got your bell rung, you'll be okay, get back in the game? Guess what? If you got your bell rung, you're probably not okay. You probably sustained a concussion, and going back in the game just might put your life in jeopardy. In high school sports, safety comes first. Use your head to learn more. Take a free online course at cdc.org/concussion. This message is brought to you by the Minnesota State High School League.
Welcome back, everyone. Color Guard is officially retired here. National Anthem. Great job done by Dana Johnson here tonight. And crowd still forming into the building here as this game anticipated highly tonight. Yeah, the Axemen aren't going to the playoffs this season, but they're playing a playoff-bound team, Bill, tonight. The Cedar Rapids Titans, a team that we've just been unable to get over the hump against. And tonight is the night, I believe, we get it done.
Well, I hope you're right, Jameson. We're really looking forward to this Axemen team, or we have been looking forward to this Axemen team for a while, and now that this first season has been coming to an end, I got to say it's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we can end it on a high note.
Josh Ockley, of course, getting his first start at quarterback tonight, wearing the number 14. Offensive line, just going over the starters here, at least for the offense for the Axemen. Offensive line from left to right. At left guard will be 79, Sean Kennedy. At center will be 66, Terrence Clark, making his second start, being back with the team. And at right guard, Kadre Pinder making his fifth start now, with number 70. The wide receivers was supposed to be Phil Browder, but he is out tonight, just kind of a late scratch there. So playing wide receiver will be Demario Pippin, a running back. And the other two, of course, Josh Jarbo, number 5, and Ryan Valentine, who is at 963 on the season in terms of yards, 65 catches, and 13 touchdowns. He is top 3 right now in the IFL, Bill, and it's tough to even say if anyone's actually higher than 963. It's Solomon from the Texas Revolution, who we just saw this last week, and at running back, Warren Matthews Jr. But, Bill, I guess quickly to talk about that, Ryan Valentine just under 200 yards away from breaking the single-season record of 11:08. Carl Sims, actually in the building, was the guy to do it back with Sioux Falls in 2012. Can Valentine do it in these next 2 games?
Well, if he's going to do it, I think he's got to get a bigger chunk this week than next week. Like we said last week, Texas was able to shut him down for the most part. He was very quiet. I think he only had a couple of catches, and 75 yards in an IFL game it's a decent game.
It is.
And if he was able to crack 120 in each game, that's a couple of big games at the end of a season. Your body's sore. He's on his 3rd different quarterback. The odds I think are stacked against him, but I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he has a monster game tonight and a bigger one next week.
Couldn't have said it better, Bill. It's a great thing there is Valentine is about 145 yards away, and you say he's got to get the bigger chunk tonight. I'd say he's got to get at least 80 to 85 tonight, even though he's going against the number 2 defense. And obviously this number 2 defense was rocked last week in Green Bay, so they're going to be out for blood tonight.
They are, and the other thing that the Axemen are going to have to do is find someone else that's going to be able to carry the ball and make something happen so that Cedar Rapids cannot just key on Ryan Ballantyne, and they have to look at other things as well.
So those are your offensive starters. The Axemen rather deferring, so they will kick off first here tonight. We'll get to the Cedar Rapids starters coming up next here as Polkinen will tee this one off. But once again for the Axemen offensive starters on the line, it's Kennedy, Clark, and Pinder from left to right. Ockery making his first career start at quarterback. Wide receivers Pippin, Jarvo, and Ballantyne your leader. And at running back, Warren Matthews Jr. So we'll get things underway here. As Cedar Rapids on the road tonight, they're wearing their away whites and black pants with some white stripes on the bottom of those on the side, and then some blue stripes on their jerseys, black helmets with their Cedar Rapids Titans logo on the sides of those. And your Axemen wearing their red homes and blue and red pants. And we're getting ready to kick this one off here. Crowd, as we mentioned, still fluctuating in. About the same turnout as last week, Bill. Not exactly sure on the exact number there, but obviously with the nicer weather outside, it's tough to even get people in the building with such great weather.
It is. It's difficult, but it's a good product, a good team, and hopefully the people realize that and come and watch them play.
Polkinen tees this one up at the goal line, as usual, on the right hash here. He kicks this a line drive, fielded here by J.J. Hayes at the 5. Here he goes from the 5 to the 10 to the 15 to the 20. Just reaches midfield at the 25. J.J. Hayes taken down here by a couple of Axemen. That's Matthews Jr. and Byron Best getting the stop there. And now on comes the field, the Axemen defense and the Cedar Rapids Titans offense.
Well, I think that the Axemen have to establish their pass rush right away and get to that quarterback from Cedar Rapids.
And quarterback for Cedar Rapids, Spencer Ohm.
I believe he played at NDSU in Fargo, didn't he, Jameson?
That was Dante Perez. He's the backup. Close enough, though. You were right on one of them.
I knew one of them did.
Spencer Ohm starting quarterback. He had some time with the Green Bay Blizzard last season, him and Brian Frey. Frey at wide receiver wears number 9, Sims number 4. He's obviously the all-time single-season leader, and J.J. Hayes, the other receiver. First down and 10 play. Early movement, at least from both sides, but it looked like Cedar Rapids moved first.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a no-brainer on that one.
So for the Titans on offense, of course, you just heard their wide receivers, 4, 8, and 9. 4 being Carl Sims, who we talked about earlier. J.J. Hayes, number 8. Brian Frey, number 9. Spencer Ohm is the quarterback. He wears number 3. Their running back, here's the new one. They have Martin Ward, wears number 28. Replacing the injured LaRon Council, was the top running back this season in the IFL was Council, so that's a big loss for Cedar Rapids on offense there. And their offensive line at center, number 56, Taylor Pass. The other linemen are 75, Albert Ernie Jr., and 96, Maurice Robinson. Second down, Ohm takes it up the middle here to the right side, rather, on a quarterback keeper, and he gets it near the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and I don't think that was a designed run. I think there was a mix-up in the routes or in the blocking scheme, as Cedar Rapids coach is giving earful now to their left tackle.
Yeah, that's Albert Ernie Jr. That is assignment put by him there, and rather a number. That was 96, Mo Robinson. Obviously, he's 430 pounds, but he's not on the field. It's actually Frederick Ruff, who's 340, but still a big man up front.
He's a big dude, yeah.
So second down and about 6 here for Cedar Rapids. Gain of 9. They're on the run from Ohm. Takes a high snap, looks to the left. Now up the middle. Ohm looks to the right. Pass caught here by Carl Sims. Thrown into the boards here by Wilburn. That's enough for a Titans first down.
Here's my question for you, Jameson. Is there a big concern about head and neck injuries in this league with the boards, the way there is in the NHL, being slammed from behind? We see it every game, almost every play. Guys get hit from behind into the boards. But yeah, we don't see the injuries here that we do in, ice hockey.
You're right. Head injuries and neck injuries.
Shoulders, everything.
And yes, you're right. It seems like, you've seen it pretty rare this season. Haven't seen a lot of it, but it seems like there should be more. At least, obviously, you don't want to see it, but it seems like there should be more. As this Next play, it pressed it up here. Spencer Rome fumbled the snap right away and took it up the middle. Was taken down on the sack here by Jordan Morgan. But Bill, you're absolutely right. Obviously, it's maybe dangerous, really, when you think about it. Guys get slammed into the boards like that. Do they maybe make a rule where, hey, maybe we shouldn't be able to at least extend our arms fully, pushing these guys into the boards, or maybe just, that's why maybe they rule them down so early if they even touch the board. Very positive. So second down and goal here for Cedar Rapids. They had it at the 10. They lose a yard there on the sack by Morgan. Ohm in this shotgun, takes a design run up the middle here to the right. Now he crosses directions over the middle, gets all the way in for the touchdown.
Well, it was kind of a late signal on that, but there's again another example of poor tackling by the Axemen defense. You know, it's a quarterback. Knock him down. Come on.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's no reason why he should. I mean, the first hit of contact, Bill, was at about the 6-7 yard line. He drags defenders 6 yards. It's a quarterback, maybe 220, maybe not even that, and you're letting him drag guys in. That's unacceptable, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rockney Belmonte, arguably known as the best kicker in the IFL, on for the extra point. Just got it off here as Jordan Morgan got through, and the kick is up and good. 7-0 Cedar Rapids on the road and up early.
Well, they noticed some problems they're having on their snaps during warm-ups when they're, kicking some field goals there before the game. There was 3 or 4 of them in a row that were fumbled, so it's something to maybe keep an eye on for the game.
Yeah, you're right. Some mishap on the snaps here between center Taylor Pass and his quarterback Ohm. Just some things we were seeing between Cody Kirby and, at time, the center was Kadre Pinder, and he was struggling quite a bit. And now, as we're seeing the same thing here with Cedar Rapids between Pass and Ohm, if that continues, you got to wonder, do they make a change at center? Obviously, they still executed the drive and got in with some points here to make it 7-0. But Coach Stout, he's a guy of... he doesn't let a lot of things slide. If you get to know the guy really well, he's very strict up front, and as he should be. I mean, you got to demand at least close to perfection as possible. And obviously, he's probably disappointed with the way, even though they got the score.
Right. I'm sure he is, and hopefully they will make the adjustment on now.
So now Rockney Belmonte, left-footed kicker. We'll tee it up here in the end zone on the goal line, and Bill, you see the formation of the ball there. That's his signature kick, is that watermelon squib, they call it, and it's a very dangerous kick, as this one fumbled by Warren Matthews Jr., picks it up at the 25 and finds a little bit of room and gets a few yards positive, but and that's things that can go bad for the opposing teams, seeing those hard kicks like that.
Yeah, those things are coming at them awful fast, and then having such the oblong ball, and it's a different weight than a regulation, say a high school ball or a NFL ball. So, all those things factor in when it comes to catching it at that high of speed.
So 7-0 our score here between the Titans and your Bemidji Axemen. Josh Ockery leads the offense onto the field here to begin their first drive. Defensive line starters, Jeremiah Price, Richard Posey, number 90, and Xavier Jackson, arguably their best defensive lineman at right defensive end. We'll get to the rest of them later here. First down and 10, throw to Jarbo on the left sideline. Catch is made inside the 13-yard line and very close to a first down. Here's second down upcoming.
Yeah, nice job there by Jarbo, coming back, catching the ball with his hands away from his body and then tucking it in and getting down right away, so he didn't take the big hit.
Starters for the Axemen at quarterback, number 14, Ockery, as we mentioned. Kennedy, Clark, and Pinder on the offensive line. Matthews Jr. at running back. And at wide receiver, David Lewis getting the start now instead of Browder. It looks like it was going to be Demario Pippin there for a second, but he will at least, I'm sure he'll be fluctuating in and taking time with Warren Matthews Jr. at running back at least, and Jarbo and Ballantyne the other receivers. Second down, take the option. Al Ockery has the busted up play here in the backfield, and he tries to get any yards forward, very close to a first down here on second down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was designed that way or if Cedar Rapids just sniffed that out.
And Cedar Rapids, of course, no slouch on defense, because they're going to measure this one here. Or maybe no, we got a first down here. Is what they're ruling now.
Okay.
And Chain Gang, miscommunication down there. Got to get moving here.
Yeah, that looks like a new gentleman there trying to help out a little bit.
First down and 10. Here goes the design right up the middle by Ockery. Takes a shot there from a defensive back, and not much in the making there. Ricky Johnson with the stop.
They're going to ask you another question here, Jamison. You're on your third quarterback of the season. He's the only one dressed on your roster. Why are you running so many designed runs with him right away early in the game?
Great question. Great question. If I had the exact answer, I'd give it to you there. But you're exactly right. I mean, it's a little iffy as to why you're doing that. At least to even start the game doing that. I mean, maybe a couple here and there. But, yeah, you're exactly right. As Ockery took a shot there from Ricky Johnson. And you always hold your breath when a quarterback takes a hit like that. Second down, they throw to the end zone, and through the uprights, the field goal is no good, obviously, in this case. But Ockery throws this one out of the end zone, but he had a man. It looked like David Lewis over the middle. And the pass sails incomplete. That'll be third down and 7.
Well, I think that was probably just thrown away on that, obviously. So, we'll see. I think that was a good decision there by Josh Ockery. There was nothing open anywhere, so.
And don't want to force anything back.
Don't want to force anything, especially that spot on the field.
Nick Haggett, linebacker, number 44. The D-backs, Ricky Johnson, number 1. Jeremy Green, number 2. Robert Brown, 16. And Travanti Tough Johnson, number 7. Third down pass to the right side. Pass is incomplete here by Jarbo. They're going to say he was out of bounds up against the dasher before he made the catch there. So fourth down upcoming.
And we'll see a drive stalled, and our star receiver, Ryan Ballantyne, didn't even get a look. Interesting play call.
Yeah, very interesting there. Now it's fourth down and 8 here from the 10-yard line as they'll attempt a field goal from Zach Polkinen here. This will be spotted at about the 17-yard line. So a 25-yard attempt here from Polkinen with the 8-yard end zones. And Josh Ockery. Usually Kirby has the holding, but Ockery, the quarterback, doing it tonight. Rodriguez, the long snapper. Here's the kick on the way. It is up, and it is good. Just goes over the right there, and the Axemen get on the board of their first drive. It's 7-3 Cedar Rapids.
Yeah, Cedar Rapids is just irate that Posey, their defensive lineman, had busted through the Axemen line looking to get the block, and he was pretty much tackled. Which, you're kind of trained to do as an offensive lineman. If you're going to get beat, you might get away with it. So, in this time, I think the Axemen did.
Yeah, holding call definitely could have been made there, as you said, Bill. And with the Axemen on their home turf here, getting a break here from the officials. So, we'll take the point 7-3 against this number 2 defense in the IFL. But now the Axemen defense, they pretty much were non-existent on that first drive. Obviously, they had the sack only because of the fumbled snap from pass to Ohm there, but definitely got to perform better than they did on that first drive. Cedar Rapids just basically walked down the field in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was, we got to at least slow them down a little bit. You cannot continue to let teams run up and down the field on you like that.
And so Polkinen. Interesting here, they have 2 defensive linemen, Posey and Jackson, on the special teams kickoff return team for Cedar Rapids here. Haven't seen a formation like this yet this season from any IFL teams, but it's the way they're going to do it. Make a little bit of a bigger wall as Polkinen kicks this one up the middle, and it goes over the boards. It'll be a touchback here, so Cedar Rapids will get it.
5-yard line,
on the 5, yep. Normally a touchback, Bill, is ruled at the 20, but I've been so confused this whole season. We've seen the ball being spotted at the 10, the 5, the 15, the 20, even the 25. A lot of those because of penalties being assessed from the drive before. But Cedar Rapids, they're going to say, I believe, Bill, from this situation, they had a chance to field that kick even though the ball was spinning so sporadically. And maybe that's the only thing I can think of why they're spotting it on the 5.
Well, that's just because it went out the back of the end zone. That's all we're going to have to maybe familiarize ourselves a little bit better with.
First down at 10. Looks to the right. Pass was in the vicinity there of A.J. Downs. As miscommunication between Ohm and his wide receiver there. That was Willie Carter.
Yeah, almost looks like there should have been an interception on that play as well.
Yeah, Ohm got that pass off very quick there on the right sideline and dropped incomplete. He got a break there as A.J. Downs was right there. And just was unable to come up with the football. So second down at 10, Cedar Rapids from their own 5. Receivers in motion. Ohm looks to the right, now over the middle. Pass caught here by Sims. Takes a hard shot here from Wilburn. Just shy of the first down inside the 14. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
Yeah, nice catch there. Sims able to go up and get that ball. Didn't you tell me that Sims is one of the record holders or something for yards? He is the record holder with another team.
1,108 with the Sioux Falls Storm back in 2012. Caught 20 touchdowns that season along with 72 receptions.
Okay, so he's going to come out here and say, okay, Mr. Valentine, I'm still around in this league. And he just went up and proved it.
And ironically here, they wear the 10 number.
Yeah, I noticed that.
3rd down and 1. Ohm looks to the left now. Downfield. Pass is incomplete. Intended there for Willie Carter. And 4th down and 1 upcoming. And big decision here. You're deep in your own territory, but at least from some points this season, we've seen teams take gambles in their own territory, but it's interesting to see what they do here.
I think they're going to go for it, James. It looks like they're going to keep their offense on the field. And I would look for the quarterback to run here.
Yeah, Ohm does have great speed, great power when he runs up the middle. And he's taken the snap from the shotgun with Ward in the backfield with him. 4th down, Ohm looks to the right. Pass caught, Prey for the first down here for Cedar Rapids inside the 20.
Well, so much what I know. He just took a one-step drop, fired it out there, and got the first down.
And Bill, if you didn't know, Prey and Spencer Ohm both came over from the Green Bay Blizzard. They were there with Coach Fuller this last season. And so they have chemistry. You gotta at least believe those two have great chemistry. And maybe that's what Ohm was saying. Hey, I know this guy better than anybody in the building. I'm going to throw him the ball. He was wide open on the play, as the Axemen are respecting him on the deep ball very much. First down and 10. Handoff up the middle here to backup running back Martin Ward. And he was taken down for no gain.
Got a nice job there by Cesar Rodriguez to come across the line. Keep what we call the heel line, which means you don't get any deeper than the heels of the offensive lineman. Just shove it right down the line, make the play.
Yeah, good stop there. This defensive line's been playing solid defense all season long. They've been anchored by Jordan Morgan. Cesar Rodriguez comes off the bench, does a great job. Ronnie Nelson got the start tonight. And Corwin Pittman, of course, has been anchored in the middle with that nose tackle position. Second down and 10. Ohm steps back, looks downfield over the middle. Here's Prey, the speedster. Prey inside the 15. Now he steps back and is taken down. Said he wasn't down, but he will get up. But he was down back at the 16. That's enough for Cedar Rapids' first down.
Well, we've seen that all year. Just a receiver coming across the middle and camping out. I don't know if that's because our linebackers are on a blitz or because our coverage is not technically right, but something has got to change with that. Otherwise, teams are just going to continue to exploit that hole in our defense.
Defensive line for the Axemen tonight, 94 Jordan Morgan on the left side. On the right side, Ronnie Nelson, 97. Corwin Pittman in the middle, 99. Linebacker Joey Johnson wears 28. Byron Best getting his first start of the season tonight, wears number 17. Warren Starling's old number. As Ward takes the handoff up the middle here, Ronnie Nelson and Corwin Pittman right there on the stop. Great stop there.
And did we ever get a report on what happened with Warren Starling?
Ended up with the Sioux Falls Storm. No joke.
And do we know why?
No, absolutely not.
No, why.
Just something off the field. Didn't get the exact report, but DeQuan Starling was released from the team. Sioux Falls picks him up, and a lot of question marks there. Second down and 11. It was a loss of 1 there for Ward. Other other defensive backs, Gary Wilburn 13, Mike McMillan 8, and A.J. Downs 21. They throw to the end zone for Prey, wide open for the touchdown.
We got a flag on the play, but I don't understand how that guy gets that wide open. There was nobody within 5 yards of him.
Yeah, he just burned Byron Best, getting his first start tonight. Cedar Rapids, of course, most likely going to do their homework and say, this guy hasn't started a game all season, and why not throw his way? And defensive holding called against the Axemen. It'll be declined, so Cedar Rapids gets the touchdown, 13-3 our score, extra point upcoming.
Another disappointing drive, Jameson.
It really was. I mean, they drove it down, took about 4 minutes this time, but at the same time, they didn't waste any time getting rid of the football quickly. They converted on a 4th down with a passing play of all things, as the extra point is good here by Belmonte. 14-3 is the score here, and Cedar Rapids offense clicking on all cylinders, not being able to run the ball very effectively, at least with their backup running back Ward, but Spencer can run it himself, and he's been throwing it very well.
Yeah, so far he's done very well back there. I guess I'm not real surprised. I think he did well the last time I saw him play in this building as well.
And, Bill, we talked about it other times before, but just not being able to have a consistent secondary. You've had to change up so many things throughout the season, plagued by injury, and then some roster turnover we've had to go with. I mean, how much tougher can it get? I mean, now you're going against one of the better passing offenses again, and you're already getting absolutely hammered down the field 2 times in a row. It's a struggle we've had to deal with all season long.
It is, and it all starts up front, and I thought that our defensive linemen were pretty good, and then obviously you've got the 4-man rotation or whatever it is, and I guess I was surprised at the different situations that certain guys were on the field. I would have thought that it would have been different, and maybe it's just a strict rotation. That's the way it is. But at the same time, I would think that they would not have that type of system in place.
Yeah. So Cedar Rapids on top, 14-3 here, 3:16 to play in the opening quarter here from Palace Casino Field. Final home game of the season for your Bemidji Axemen. Hopefully, if you cannot attend the game tonight, you're tuning in from your home or in your cars. Here's the kick from Belmonte, fielded by Ballantyne. He's got a lanyard on the left sideline. Dices through a couple of Titans and gets all the way inside the 15. Now the 14-yard line is where they mark it. Nice vision there from Ballantyne.
Yeah, he got a nice little block there right out of the gate and was able to exploit that lane. And there you see what a guy like Ryan Ballantyne can do with the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, that was just one little quick step, Bill, and it was, bam, right into that hole. Goes north and gets a solid return there. And we were always talking about it, Bill. You brought it up. Going east and west doesn't work. All he had to do was take one step to the right and find his hole. So now the Axemen offense, who could not get a touchdown on their first drive, just unable to connect, get their 3 points, and now they are on their second drive here. First down and 10. Ockery looks end zone for Jarbo. He was thrown down from behind. Looked like some feet tangle up there, but they're going to say pass interference here against Jeremy Green.
Yeah, I almost have to call that one, even though I think it was just feet getting tangled up. A receiver gets taken down at the goal line, and it's going to draw flags all over the place.
Officials do converge here, and I wonder here if they're maybe going to say that, but the ball is being spotted already, so obviously they're going to call it here, and they will. Ball placed at the 2-yard line where the foul occurred there, just outside of the end zone. And now, Bill, this is a must to get a touchdown here. You're already down this far against this defense with that great kickoff return. Ballantyne puts us in great position. A good play call there, opening things up for Jarbo on the right side. So see if the Ballantyne return here can spring that forward and get us a touchdown. First and goal from the 2. Ockery keeps it up the middle and ball over the goal line as they're going to roll him down at the 1.
it looked like to me like he struck the ball right before his knee went down.
Oh, now they do, yep. So they do a rule of touchdown. No official put their hands in the air, but it's a touchdown here for Josh Otry. So the Axemen with that touchdown they needed, and it's a 14-9 game. And poking it on for the extra point. Just took 2 plays to get it into the end zone. One official play, rather, with one of them being a pass interference. And now here's the snap, kick on the way from Fulton, and it is good. Well, that's a quick strike there, Bill. From 3:16 to 2:41, do the math there. That's 37 seconds it took the Axemen to get downfield and score, and they're back within 4 points.
Yeah, I'm glad you did the math on that one. I'm an English teacher. I don't know math. No, you know what? That's exactly what a football team has to do. If someone comes down and scores on you, you got to answer right back, and eventually you got to get a stop. And so far tonight, the Axemen have not been able to solve the offense of Cedar Rapids Titans.
And that's going to be key. I mean, you're getting them the ball first in this game, which I like. That's my thing. I love to defer to the other team, get the ball at halftime in case, you do have a lead going into the second half, or if you're down by a possession, you're tied. I mean, that just gives you so much advantage for the second half. So the Axemen, it's important for them to at least be within this or by halftime, because Cedar Rapids offense can take off if you leave the door open, which you've done the last 2 drives.
Absolutely.
So poking in. And Bill, I wouldn't be shocked, at least maybe not on this kickoff, but on one upcoming, if Pokenin tries that onside kick. He's been successful on it about 3 or 4 times this season, twice in Cedar Rapids. He doesn't do it here with a squib kick up the middle. Hits J.J. Hayes, fields it from the 3. Now he'll get a block here, runs to the right side, and Axemen don't wrap up. Hayes runs to the left side. As he's still on his feet, here goes Hayes across the 15, all the way down to the 10. And Polkin, the kicker, took a shot there. And some late commotion here. An Axemen player is down. That is, looks like Mike McMillan. Or Warren Matthews. Or Mike McMillan, looks like, actually.
It's 6 or 8. He got to stay on the field. But you're right, Josh Polkinen got absolutely lit up. Probably the biggest hit I've seen all season, and it happened on the kicker.
So the Axemen defense will have its hands full here at the 11-yard line. Cedar Rapids inside the 11. Great field position once again. And now the Titans just not much field to work with here, but the Axemen really going to have to come up big here.
Yes, they are.
So first down and 10. Ohm in the gun. Prey and Hayes in motion. Looks to the right. Here's Carl Sims. He is hammered into the boards here by Lamar Allen, getting back into the game. A.J. Downs along with him on the stop. Gain of about 3 here on first down. 2nd and 7 coming.
Well, nice job there by the defense to hold that game to a minimum, but they're going to have to do better than that.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. I mean, 8 yards to work with now.
Some people are trying to help them out with some of the noise here between plays. Seems a little louder tonight than normal, doesn't it, Jameson?
It does. It really does. Whether or not it's the crowd, whether or not it's the speakers that are really turned up in this building, which you might as well turn them all the way up, at least as high as you can, get this crowd into this one. Ohm takes the snap, makes a nice move on Nelson, and hits into his own player. Otherwise, if not for that, Ohm might have had an easy touchdown.
No, I think Downs there, number 21, might have had him by the ankles and brought him down to his help as well. But yeah, you're right, Jameson. He ran into his own player, knocked him down to about the 1.5, and you know what? It's his quarterback, this Ohm, he seems to like to run more than he likes to throw.
Yeah, very athletic specimen. Coming from Concordia St. Paul, got a tryout with the Minnesota Vikings last season.
Oh, is that the same guy?
Yep. 1.5-yard line. They need a half yard for a first down. Ohms trying to sneak it forward, and I don't know if he got really anywhere, Bill.
No, Nelson came across that heel line like we talked about earlier. Was able to wrap up and bring the quarterback down.
So they're going to back this ball up to the 2-yard line. He loses a half yard. And now 4th and 1 here for Cedar Rapids, and they're going to bring on their field goal unit here.
Well, that's a very good stop there by the Axemen here to end up the first quarter. And we got a timeout here by someone. They're going to think about it a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, Coach Stout just on fire on the sideline right now, upset with his offensive line and really upset with his quarterback, Spencer Ohm, right now as they're going to talk things over here where they take a timeout. We'll do the same. We'll come back in 30 seconds here, right here on the Bemidji Axemen Radio Network. 21 and a half seconds left to play here in quarter number 1. Axemen trail by 4.
Stop on down to the Ground Round every Monday night for fantastic food and beverage specials. The Ground Round will have happy hour drink specials and appetizer specials every Monday night from 4 p.m. to close. Be sure to try the wings with our new Bemidji Axemen sauce. 8 wings for $4. Also, meet the coaches and players during the Coaches Show every Monday night from 6 to 7. It's all right here at the Ground Round in Bemidji.
We've got what you like. Ground Round.
Welcome back, everyone. CR puts their special teams off to the side. They bring the offense back on. 4th down and 1 here as we have a whistle here and a timeout. Bill, that's a great timeout there because if you didn't notice there, CR brought in 2 defensive linemen, Posey and Jackson, to load up a wall there on the left side. That's a good call by Stout, but an even better timeout call by Wooten.
Well, I thought they looked awful big over there on that left side, but normally you're looking at the what is he, about 5'7" or something, the wide receiver out there, that Prey, and then you bring in the D lineman in his spot. That's a big difference over there.
They had Xavier Jackson and Richard Posey in motion. And I was wondering why. Obviously, the speed of those guys is a lot slower than wide receivers, but those guys still coming at you with a head of steam like that, you better watch out.
You're probably too young, but days of the fridge from Chicago, William Perry in the backfield at fullback, they used to do that on their goal line situation. And it was a load and a half, I tell you. I don't think I saw anybody that was able to stop that all season.
I do remember that. Obviously, I didn't get to see it, being the young gun I am right now. But you're right, the fridge for the Bears. At least I can name it. But, yeah, I would have liked to have seen it. Just being a big guy like that. He had to have been about, how big was he, 280, 290?
More like 340.
340?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was big.
So 4th down and 1. They're going to load him up again on the left side. Here they go to Ward on the left. He is taken down, and they didn't get the first down. Great stop by the Axemen defensive line.
Well, the risk you take by putting those big guys out there on the end is that your smaller guys can slash through the gap in the opening, get to the ball carrier. That's exactly what the Axemen did.
Spencer Ohm is furious on the sideline with disgust. He thought his offense would be able to capitalize there, but they fall maybe a half yard short as they got a little bit forward, but Martin Ward could not punch it through. Credit that defense. And Bill, we talked about it. They had to make the stop. Maybe this is the stop they needed. Now the offense maybe will be bombarded by this.
Well, let's hope so. And I would like to see Coach Fuller go back to that quarterback read option that was so successful last week in the first quarter. Now, granted, Cody Kirby isn't back there running it, but.
First down and 10. Ockery looks to the right. Pass overthrown here to Ryan Ballantyne as the clock will strike 0 very shortly here, as that'll end our first quarter. But not a good pass there from Ockery.
No, it wasn't. It was a real quick read. Came out of his hand wrong and was not accurate at all.
First quarter comes to an end after the incompletion, but the Axemen defense puts an exclamation point on that drive with a fourth down stop there. As we'll take a break here, we'll come back for second quarter action after this, right here on your radio home of Axemen football.
It is retirement planning season, and the number of options can be confusing. Individuals have the option to use traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Businesses can use simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, defined benefit pension plans, profit sharing plans, 403B plans, 401k or Roth 401k plans. As an employee, you might have access to one of these plans through your employer, and it is very important to take advantage of matching contributions. Who can help you with the confusing rules of retirement planning? Call Alan Zoops, a certified financial planner and financial associate with Thrive Financial for Lutherans at 444-0202.
And welcome back, everyone, here on the Axemen Radio Network. And Bill, looking at the first quarter stats right now, it's a 14-10 game. Cedar Rapids on top. Total offense right now, in comparison with both teams, Cedar Rapids has absolutely hammered us in that category by 70, 84-14. Obviously, our offense has had great field position, so you don't see the big yards. But Cedar Rapids, their offense has been clicking, but their offense unable to convert on that drive.
Yeah, and that was a big stop by the Axemen defense, able to slice through the opening. Cedar Rapids putting their big D tackles out on that end to try and force a corner. Didn't work for them. And I would guess they'll think twice about it next time.
Well, and the thing I got there, Bill, when our offense came onto the field, that incompletion to Ballantyne, why don't you try and line him up? Give him a one-on-one matchup here. Maybe take a shot. I mean, you're deep in your own end zone. Maybe take a chance there, but obviously you're the expert with the coaching.
Not at the end of a quarter. At the end of a half, probably would, but at the end of a quarter, I guess I wouldn't have done that.
You wouldn't do it?
No.
They line up Lewis along with Jarbo to the right, Ballantyne along with Warren Matthews Jr. to the left. Second down, Ockery pressured in the end zone, gets rid of it, and the pass is caught here on the right side by Lewis. He had to lunge back and get it, but he makes the catch. They get some yards when it looked like it could have been a safety.
Well, and they're saying, Cedar Rapids Titans are arguing that Josh Ockery did touch the wall with them in contact with him, which would be the sack, but the referee saw it differently, and he's going to reward the completion. I guess I thought he was down too.
Yeah. Yep. Very close play there as Ockery did get it off. They're going to rule it a 4-yard completion. They spot it at the 6. Great job by Lewis to make the catch there, because obviously if he doesn't, they're still back at the 2. And 4 yards is better than none. Now it's 3rd and 6 as Ockery in the gun here. Big rush as we have some early movement. Not sure who this one's going to be on, but because there was a hole up the middle. Jeremiah Price had a lane, and it's going to go against the Axemen, so back him up 3 yards.
Yeah, that's not as big a penalty when you're backed up on your own end zone anyway, but they do want to get a little bit of room here for Polkinen to maybe try a field goal. Be an awful long one. I don't know that he's made one that long all year. I think he was, 51 or something?
Yeah, Polkinen does have the leg, but at the same time, this is a big risk right there, too, because if a kick does get blocked, obviously when you kick it from this far, it's going to be more on a line instead of in the air, and that gives the other team a chance.
Okay, guys, I don't think these downs markers should be back there.
3rd down, Ockery in the end zone gets rid of it, as he does get rid of it there, and now some late commotion here as a member of the Axemen, Josh Jarbo, along with Robert Brown of the Titans going at it, and some late flags. This is probably just going to be offsetting.
Well, we hope that there isn't any ejections here, and I don't think there will be, but we've only got 3 receivers dressed tonight. If Jarbo is ejected, then all of a sudden I would think that Pippin's got to split out the wide receiver instead of being in the backfield. You've got to be more disciplined than that. I'm not sure what was happening on that play between the 2 men, but it was not something we need here in the game.
Yeah, it was Robert Brown and Josh Jarbo throwing some punches at each other there.
And really, you're playing football. You've got a helmet on, a face mask on. You hit him, you're not going to hurt him. You're going to hurt your hand.
Yeah.
I've never understood football fights too much. I've been in them, and it was just dumb.
So now a lot of talking on the field here. Officials, no one's made a call yet as to what they're going to assess with these 2 penalties that were thrown.
Jared was over there laughing about it, so. We did start that. We did throw the first punch on that.
They threw 2 flags. That's what I'm confused about. I'm not sure why they didn't call it on both if they called 2 flags, but maybe they picked one of them up.
No, it's just the same, or 2 refs calling the same thing, I think, is what it was. And it's unfortunate. They got some frustration setting in, I'm sure, at this point in the season. You're not going to the playoffs. Balls underthrown. He's maybe held up a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what was happening, but hopefully cooler heads will prevail here.
So nevertheless, here, Polkinen's going to be backed up at least 3 to 4 yards in his own end zone here on the Axemen logo. And more than anything, Bill, if he doesn't try a field goal here, he's just going to at least just kick this ball as far as possible away.
Yep.
And I think that's probably what he's going to try and do it just to get it out of his own end zone. As here's the snap. Rush converges. Polkinen's kick is on the way. A lot of distance there. Sims fields it 8 yards deep. He's got a wall here, but now he's almost taken down. Gets out of a tackle there.
And Cody Kirby next in the booth next to us just screaming, as is Coach Fuller. And I don't blame him. You got your kicker Polkinen is getting up slow and hobbled now by it looks like an ankle or a knee injury, leg injury of some kind. You got a block and a back down on the return. All kinds of things going on. Referee's got to get a handle on this game real quick, or it's going to get completely out of control.
Yep. Yeah, big one missed there as Sims did get out of this tackle there, the would-be tackle there of Torlin Pittman. Got some extra yardage, so the Titans will have it inside their own 23. After that sequence of events that just happened within that one kickoff there. So first down and 10. Cedar Rapids now on their 4th drive of the game. They came up empty last time, but no points. They went for it on 4th down and 1. Play clock running low, and timeout is called here by Stout as Bill, we saw them hustle to the line as the play call comes in late. But the Titans call their 2nd timeout of the half here, and rightfully so, as Stout obviously going to keep his eyes on that clock the entire time. And not good clock management there by the Titans.
No, it wasn't, and they did try and get up to the line and get that play off, but obviously coaching staff felt that they needed to call the timeout. That's their 2nd one here of the half, so they are down to 1, and that may factor in here as this 2nd quarter moves along.
You're right, yeah. I mean, you have to use one like that, and obviously, Bill, it would be very much bigger if it was in the 2nd half and you were down to 1 timeout, because timeouts mean really the world. If you don't have those, obviously you don't have that element of defense with you to go towards the end of the games where you might be down by a possession and need to call those timeouts to keep the clock stopped and get back on offense. But luckily for them, it's only the first half. But at the same time, still, this is a good game thus far. I'm still, man, Bill, the opportunities we've had so far, not many, but the ones we've had, we should have capitalized on. But I'm still a little bit questioned as to some of the plays we called on that last drive. I'm questioned, really.
I agree with you, Jamison. A lot of question marks with this coaching staff last couple of weeks.
First down and 10. Ohm in the gun. Throws quick to the right. Pass is caught here by Carter. Nice stick there by Lamar Allen.
Very nice stick by Lamar Allen. Came up, wrapped around the ball carrier, drove with his legs, and was able to take him down cleanly. Very nice tackle.
And see, we haven't seen Lamar Allen yet this season, Bill, but out of the 4 defensive backs, at least in this game, that was the best tackle I've seen by far. Because the other ones, Cedar Rapids players have been able to break out of.
Yep, I agree.
And there was no chance for Carter to do anything. I mean, wrapped up nicely, drove him back a couple yards, and he only gets 3 yards out of the play. 2nd down and 7 here. Ohm back in the gun, looks over the middle, now to the left, scrambles to the right. He'll take off here. He'll have a very close to the first down here. Depends on the spot here from the officials. He gets near the 17.
Yep, they're going to give it to him.
So a first down is awarded here for the Titans. Just under 11 and a half minutes to play here in the first half.
Well, and again, we're down quarter and not quite a half, but Ryan Ballantyne, 0 catches.
And he's only been targeted once.
Yeah.
That's what my biggest concern is right now. I just don't get it. The last 2 weeks, you haven't even been targeting him.
Nope.
2nd down, flags fly everywhere. And Cedar Rapids.
Say offsides on the Axemen.
Yep, Mike McMillan, you got to know where you're at. Because it looks like they're going to try and call him with this. He's lined up there with Willie Carter the third, and Carter's just laughing and saying, yeah, you're too focused on me. You got to see where you're at first on the field. Yeah, that's Bill, those are unnecessary penalties right there. You got to be more aware.
Yeah. And
really
what? I really don't mean to be as critical as I sound with this coaching staff, but I just don't understand the play calling, some of the personnel decisions, things like that.
2nd down and 5 here for the first down and 5, rather. They give it to Martin running left as Cesar Rodriguez, along with Torlin Pippen, make the stop. He'll get a few yards there on 1st down and 5.
I really like Cesar Rodriguez this year. I think he plays hard, very quick off the edge. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in training camp with someone from August.
Yeah, he was also the sandwich maker there at Urban Gerbs. He picked up a second job, and he was making a mean sandwich over there. I'd have a good chat with him every time I'd walk in there.
Well, he's a product of Central Michigan University. Maybe he did some of that in college too. Who knows?
3-yard scamper there for Martin Ward. 2nd down and 2 here. Ohm looking to the right. Now he looks to the left. Pass is thrown away, intended for Prey, and that's a smart decision there by Ohm.
Yeah, it was. He had nothing except a big pass rush coming in his face.
So now it brings up a big 3rd down here. The Axemen defense has already made the one big stop. See if they can topple it over with another one here. Trailing by 4. This drive started, Bill, with that big return by the Titans. And now we'll see what happens here. Ohm looking over the middle. Now he takes off. He's got a first down, cuts it upfield, dives into the end zone. And now they're going to rule him down short.
Yeah. And I think that's the right call.
Boy, Ohm just takes off. And when he does, look out. He's got a lot of speed to work with there. Very athletic specimen out of Concordia University. And it looks like the Axemen defense really getting tired here.
And I'm sure they probably are, but they shouldn't be. They basically have been chasing a quarterback. And granted, he's a good athlete and all that, but come on.
So that brings up 1st down and goal here for Cedar Rapids. Under 9 minutes to play here in the 2nd quarter. Ball at the 1. Ohm dives ahead. Ball comes loose. And it looks like Cedar Rapids is going to come up with a lucky bounce there right into the arms of Martin Ward. And boy, if that ball squirts around there, it's anybody's ball.
Absolutely. That was a big pile-up anyway. You throw a loose ball into the equation, and football players are like wolves on a dead deer. They are all over it.
No gain there, almost a loss or a turnover there for Cedar Rapids. And now that brings up 2nd down and goal from the 1. And Cedar Rapids will line up under center again. Ward in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to the right. They give it to Ward, running right here. Ward, extra effort, and walks into the end zone for the touchdown.
Martin Ward, 5'9", 220, so he's kind of a bowling ball type running back, and he has powered his way into the end zone.
Hurt Axemen player down here. And looking at it, this could be Jory Johnson.
That would not be good.
And it looks like I think I can see a 2 there on the jersey. That would be, yes, it's Jory Johnson. And obviously you don't want anyone to go down, but probably one of the 2 most consistent, maybe 3 most consistent guys on our defense all season. The captain of that defense, the last guy you want to see going down.
Well, especially when he's the only linebacker you got dressed on your roster. I don't know who Jory Johnson's backup would be.
It was Derek Rose. He was here for a while, but he was cut as we brought in another receiver. That he was cut in favor of Josh Jarbo, but it looks like Johnson is going to limp off the field under his own power here, and hopefully this is just a nick. And but obviously, oh man, that's just anything scary seeing him go down with only the one linebacker, as he said, on the roster.
Yeah, I don't know if they've got a defensive back they put there. Who knows? Maybe they put Valentine there. They put him at quarterback. It's some of the personnel decisions on this team right now. I don't understand them. And, obviously, we're not there on the day-to-day. We're not there in the locker room or the practice field as much. You maybe are more than me, but, it just seems like there's been an awful lot of roster turnover here.
Here's the extra point from Belmonte. It's up and it is good. 8:03 to play. Cedar Rapids 21 and your Bemidji Axemen 10. We'll check on the status of Jory Johnson. Hopefully he can come back out and play, but Bill, it looked like he was headed to the locker room.
Yeah, and that would be a very unfortunate situation, but it's something, I've questioned that in the past where we'd had games we dressed one quarterback. We had games, obviously we're dressing one linebacker. I understand you only have a certain amount of players you can dress for a game, but you'd think that there would be certain spots that maybe need 2 guys dressed that can play that spot. And maybe they do. Maybe they've got someone else that can play there.
Yeah. So we got our quarterback toss here is some young guys out on the field, and it's going to be a very similar spot here. Oh man, within a yard it looks like, Bill, half a yard.
Yeah.
Of arm strength there between these 2 guys.
They're a couple of young guys too. They're just even maybe early high school, late middle school age, so like 9th, 10th grade maybe.
Yeah, and they tossed that rock. A good 40, 45 yards there. So
well, I know Coach Hendricks from the high school program is in attendance tonight, so maybe he's going to have a little chat with those young men. His son, James, will be a senior this year at the Bemidji High School. He's the returning starting quarterback.
And Bill, I got the pleasure to cover that team on this station this season, and boy, what an athlete that kid is.
Yeah, as I coached him, this past year, and I coached him in middle school as well, and he's a special kid. His brother was very good too. He didn't quite have the size maybe, but both of them very smart football minds, incredibly intelligent football players.
Yeah, and only 2.5 short months away, we'll be covering them again, and I'm very excited to cover that team again. Just a great team to watch on their run this season. As here's the kickoff here into the hands of Matthews Jr. He fumbles it, and he's not down yet. They're not ruling him down. Obviously, you have to be touched, and I'm not sure why he didn't try and get up and run there.
I guess I don't know either.
So Matthews Jr. taken down, gets back up, but just stopped as he thought he was down. Nobody had touched him yet.
Well, and here again, more a situation where players don't understand the rules. We've seen that a lot this year as well. And granted, this is not necessarily a league that people are in for a long time, but you still have to know the rules of the game you're playing.
So he's taken down inside the 20. Just under 8 minutes to play, 7:56 to be exact here in the second quarter. Axemen trailing by 11. And with their 4th offensive possession of the game, see if they can work and do some magic here. First down and 10. They keep it up the middle with Ockery, and it was a fake handoff to Pippin, and nothing much on the game there.
Well, there's your quarterback read option that was so successful last week with Cody Kirby running it, and we kind of thought, well, maybe they should go back to that. Now, rethinking my statement earlier, when you've got the one quarterback, you don't really want him running all that much. So, at least I wouldn't think you would.
Yeah, so just the 1 yard gain there for Ockery. who is, as we've seen, he's been wearing that knee brace on his right knee. 2nd down and 9. Looks downfield for Lewis. Oh, just out of the reach. And good thing that fan grabbed that ball, because if not, the defensive back there, Brown, might have come up with it.
Yeah, either that or his wife or girlfriend might have spilled her adult beverage. I think I know who that fan is too, but I won't say just in case I'm wrong. And if it is what I'm thinking of, he's got pretty good hands.
Yeah, he just absolutely ripped that one out of the air after it hit off the hands of David Lewis, and that would have been quite the good catch there. Is a good spot for the ball there by Ockery, keeping it away from the defense, and making it so his receiver's the only one that can come up with it. But Lewis, man, you got to. Oh, I think you got to come up with that.
I do too.
3rd down and 9, and now whistles everywhere. Axemen are going to call their first timeout here, 2nd timeout rather.
Does it seem like the action is a lot more choppy tonight too, with different aspects of, whistles and timeouts and just the general play? There's no real flow to the game. So yeah,
and this building has been very quiet, at least for the most part. The excitement level really hasn't been there. Obviously, just that one touchdown by Ockery, but again, missing players like Kirby, the absolutely dynamic player, and Ballantyne non-existent in the game because they haven't even been looking his way. And that's my biggest question right now, is still the last 6 quarters now, you haven't even looked his way more than 7 times.
Well, is he hurt? Could he possibly have an injury or something that has taken him kind of out of the game plan a little bit?
Maybe so, but I mean, if you have him out there, you might as well use him, is what I'm saying. But at least I'm not noticing anything, Bill. If you are, I'm not.
I'm not. I thought maybe you would, maybe have a inkling that there's something happening there. But, I've seen him run a couple of fakes, and, the kickoff return, he looked fine. So
now it's a big 3rd down and 9 here. Ballantyne, Jarbo in motion. They're going to look for Ballantyne, and there he is alone. Here goes Ballantyne across the middle, looking for a block, and he's taken down here by Jeremy Green. 1st down, Bemidji Axemen.
Well, and there you go. You finally find him open in the pattern, and it's the biggest gain of the night.
Just his first catch of the night, his 2nd target. And we already only have 6 minutes to play in the first half.
So what did he pick up there, about 20 yards?
Yep. All the way here from, look like the 16, all the way up to the 14 there. Yeah, right on 20 yards there. Good connection there. Actually, they're going to mark it 15 here on the stats. So a 15-yard connection here from Ballantyne, from Josh Ockery. He was 3 for 8, 28 yards to start this game. Now they're going to hand it off to Ballantyne, and Cedar Rapids was completely ready for that one.
Yeah, they watched him fake that a couple of times early in the first quarter, and then now that they give it to him, they were watching for that.
Yeah, another call that I'm not agreeing with. He just completed a pass to him downfield. Why not try it again? I mean, he got as open as you can, really. No one within 10 yards of him. Find him again. Keep milking him.
And if you don't find him, find someone else. It's kind of as the season's gone on, the play calling's gotten more conservative.
It really has. Loss of 4 on that play, and a big loss of 4, because now it backs you up to the 19. 2nd down. Ockery throwing, end zone, Ballantyne. Oh, what a catch by Ballantyne! 2nd effort for the touchdown.
Fantastic job by Ryan Ballantyne. Incredible focus, able to get a piece of the ball, tip it to himself, one-handed catch in the corner of the end zone, goes up and dunks the ball over the goalpost. Fans are able to get a souvenir, and Ryan Ballantyne is on the board.
Absolutely great, and I saw it the whole way, Bill. Ockery was looking his way. He pump faked and then had his up man beat. And just for the split second there, and Ballantyne makes the circus catch off of the tip. I thought maybe he was going out of the end zone, but he comes up with it and makes an absolutely stunning 19-yard reception for the touchdown. Extra point is tacked on. and we're back to a 4-point game, 21-17.
Well, there's 34 more yards for Ryan Valentine to add on to his record-seeking season. So, and not to mention the touchdown to help out the Axemen here tonight.
And that puts him 3 yards shy of 1,000, 997, with now his 14th touchdown of the season. Great season for that young man. And obviously this is his third different quarterback too, so you got to take that into effect.
Absolutely you do. And also the fact that the play calling is, it's gotten more conservative, but your running back stats haven't gone up. So something there, if you're on a 3-game losing streak, throw it to him. What else are you playing for right now? Let the kid get his record.
And Bill, obviously I said his third starting quarterback, but he was a quarterback himself. So there's been 4 different quarterbacks on this team this season.
Well, did he throw anything to himself?
He was 4 for 12 in that game in Wyoming, and he actually, Bill, did make a great throw. Phil Browder caught one in the back of the end zone in Wyoming. Absolutely stunning catch, and it was a great throw within itself too. But he did what he had to do in that game. But if he's still making catches like this, I wouldn't be afraid to put him anywhere offensively. Here's the return from Brown. And Brown getting some extra yardage and carrying guys with him all the way up to the 22. And man, that's just the powerful running of these Titans players and the inability to finish tackles for the Axemen have really been the story of this game.
Oh, absolutely it has, and it's kind of been the story of the season. That they have not been a good tackling team.
So they get it all the way up to the 22 in that solid field position once again. As we're looking down on the field and no sign of, and now we see Jory Johnson on the sideline, but he's not on the field, so now, not sure here, they only have 7 players
on the field.
So Cesar Rodriguez, now Jory Johnson comes in. So Johnson comes in. He'll come back to that linebacker spot, and that's good to see. Hopefully it's not much that will hold him back.
Doesn't have the gloves on, his helmet's not snapped. He was not ready to play football on that down.
No.
I don't know that he maybe should have went back in the game quite yet. You'd think that they would have that figured out on the sideline. Who was doing what, this situation. But they didn't, and there again, I blame the coaching staff on that.
Yeah, and then pretty much an easy 5-yard gain there. Cedar Rapids was able to get the play off and do whatever they wanted with it. They're the advantage there. And basically you just gave them 5 yards, and you're right. I mean, you got to be prepared. You got to be ready, and you got to hold them out for a play. Cesar Rodriguez was ready to go there.
Well, now again, it looks like there's some confusion in the coverage. We got, I don't know what Best is doing.
Holm is taken off here as he had a wide receiver standing alone in the end zone, Sims. 2 of them alone in the end zone. Obviously, coverage breaks down when the quarterback takes off, but Spencer Holm didn't even look that way, and if he did, he could have just tossed that one up like he was playing catch.
Yeah, I think you or I could have probably made that completion, but, I think Dixie Wood might want to take a timeout here and just get his defense back under control.
So that's 2 plays and 9 yards, and our defense didn't even know where they were on the field for those 2 plays. And now we have a 3rd down and 1 here. I'm shocked, really, that Cedar Rapids didn't even score there. I mean, no one was ready on these 2 plays. Defense, you got to be ready here. 3rd down and 1. Holm steps back, looks to the left, pass is incomplete.
Oh, no.
Flag on the play, and I don't know about this one. McMillan and Hayes. And Hayes had a hand on it, but I'm not really seeing, unless we see a replay here, I don't know where the flag came in.
I don't either. That looked like, the guy dove and gave everything he could just to get fingertips on the ball. I don't know how. Oh, that's a bad call.
So looks like they're going to step off the yards here, but no official call has been made. I'm still waiting on it. As now they're going to call it here against McMillan.
Boy, I don't know about that one. Crowd's letting them hear that too. The Bluebirds are coming out.
Yeah, we didn't get to see a replay of it, but McMillan had great coverage on Hayes. That was just a coverage, could have been, pressure from the defensive line. a coverage sack if they were in Ulm's space at the time, because great coverage all around there. They were ready on that play, but at the same time, the flag is called, and Cedar Rapids has it now at the 17. Not much yards with that penalty as it happened very close to the line of scrimmage. Ulm looks to the right. Pass is caught here by Prey. Hangs on. He takes a shot here from Allen.
Yeah, Lamar Allen able to come up and make the tackle on that while the receiver was in the air. Fantastic job. That's the second time we've seen him do that. Very sure tackler.
So gain of about 8 there for Brian Prey. He's had himself a pretty good first half. 4 catches, 43 yards, and the lone touchdown reception for Cedar Rapids. As Ulm and Ward each have one on the ground. 2nd down and 2. They toss it out to the right here to Sims, who gets away from 2 tacklers, and if they had him, that would have been a no-gainer.
Yeah, it seemed like they spread it out well, but then we're just looking to push him into the boards. They weren't looking to tackle. Again, wrap up the ball carrier, drive with your legs. That is taught to you in Pee Wee football, in middle school football, high school football, every level you played. Why do they continue to not do it in the game?
So it goes with a gain of 4 there for Carl Sims. It was only 4 yards, but it was 4 big yards. As if they had him in the backfield, it'd be 3rd down and 2 here. 1st down and goal from the 5. They toss it again to Sims, and why not? It worked last time. Flag comes in late, and this might be an illegal man downfield. Is what they're pointing at anyways.
Illegal man downfield on a run?
Yep.
No, there's Cedar Rapids seems to think it's against the Axemen.
Fingers pointing both ways here. Not sure what the call would be. I'm just here in this situation. As Ronnie Nelson was pointing there at Albert Ernie Jr. And now they're going to spot this ball half the distance, so it's going to be illegal defense called against the Axemen. They're going to say Gary Wilburn was within the belt. Too many men in the belt at the time.
In the belt.
Half the distance to the goal, so it's 1st down and goal from the 2.5-yard line, but the first 60-second warning of the game here is called here. 58.6 seconds to be exact left here in the first half, so we'll take a break here. We'll come back here to Palace Casino Field in 30 seconds after this on the Axemen Radio Network.
Sterling Silver Premium Beef provides culinary inspiration. Hi, I'm Brent from Lucan's. Lucan's Village Foods strives to provide customers with the highest quality meats at an affordable price. So we chose Sterling Silver Beef. This beef, rich in marbling, is aged twice as long as ordinary beef. The results, an unsurpassed cut of tender, juicy, flavorful beef. Come taste the difference with Sterling Silver Beef, exclusively at Lucan's Village Foods, where the food enthusiasts shop.
And welcome back, everyone. Illegal defense was the call here, so half the distance to the goal. And Bill, no, it was not an illegal man downfield on a run, as obviously that was a mis-scrambling of words there. But yes, illegal defense against the Axemen. Gary Wilburn in the tackle box there, as too many men cannot be in there. So the Titans have it now at the 2.5-yard line. They stack all 3 wide receivers to the right. Ulm under center, Ward right behind him. They look end zone, miscommunication, incomplete pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was supposed to be, but it definitely was miscommunication on the route.
Ulm threw it to where nobody was standing, just hits the dasher in the back of the end zone.
Dixie Wooten is getting awful animated down on the field now.
He's wondering why the clock is still moving here. As there's an incomplete pass, under a minute left, he's got a point. Great great eyes there, as obviously it looked like he was the only man that's actually paying attention here on the field, as there was 15 seconds that ran off. Quality seconds that the Axemen could need here and very much use, as now they put 54 minutes on the clock, which we're going to be here all night now.
Yeah.
So 54 seconds now on the clock. 2nd and goal upcoming here, and definitely some miscommunication between Ohm and his two wide receivers, Sims and Hayes. They're on the right side. And they're going to do the same thing, stack up all three to the right. Hayes, Sims, and Prey. Warren in the backfield in the shotgun with Ohm. 2nd down. Ohm keeps it to the left. He is tackled inside the 1. And 1.5 yards accumulated there.
Nice job there by Jordan Morgan coming across that heel line, making the tackle. Pittman bottling it all up for him. Nice job by the defensive line of the Axemen.
Now Dixie Wooten, defensive coordinator for the Axemen, calls their 3rd and final timeout here to stop the clock at 46 seconds. The clock stopped this time, but Mark Stout noticed that and told the officials that the clock needs to keep running, so Wooten obviously caught that and calls their 3rd and final timeout. That's the 2nd timeout now that Wooten has called.
Well, it says we still have one.
Yep, but he did call one back on that goal line stance. Remember when Cedar Rapids brought that in, but then we had to call a timeout earlier in the 2nd quarter as well.
Okay. Well, I guess judging by the clock operators the last couple of minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if it was inaccurate, as they were all the whole game last week. We didn't even get the timeouts on the board. Is that the same people every week, or do they do new people every once in a while?
You know, I guess I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure who runs the clock really at this facility here tonight. Jordan Morgan trying to get the crowd on their feet tonight. Charlie Newland, the PA announcer, says, wake up, get on your feet here tonight, because now the crowd rising to their feet here. 3rd down and 1. They give it to Ward up the middle. He's in for the touchdown.
And again, the bowling ball going to work on that one and just mowing people down and able to bounce his way into the end zone.
Just an easy touchdown there for Ward. Just faced one guy and bounced right off of him, knocked over the bowling pin there and rolled into the end zone.
And we've only gotten one defensive stop here in the first half, haven't we?
Just the big one, obviously, the fourth down stand there, goal line stand. Now it's a 27-17 Titans lead. With the extra point here by Belmonte. Holder is Brian Prey. And here it is, it's up and it is good. So still, 40 seconds left. Axemen plenty of time to get downfield. Yes, they are out of timeouts, but at the same time, they still got a big chance. And Bill, they need to take advantage, because you get the ball to start the second half, and that could maybe spring to a lead if they can convert on this drive, use up this whole time, and then get the ball to start the second half and hopefully get a score to start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and ideally that's what will happen. So it'll all come down to this return, as you said. And, you know, I would think that the Cedar Rapids would take it away from Ryan Ballantyne, but he's got that, as you said, what you call a watermelon kick or something. So I would guess that is a much more difficult way to control the ball. But then again, I've never seen anyone kick that way, so maybe it works better.
Scores around the league last night. Tri-Cities thumps Wyoming on the road 64-35. Some very entertaining games tonight. Colorado on top of Green Bay in Colorado, a close one, 31-27. The Ice have wrapped up a playoff spot with the Nebraska Danger in the Intense Conference, but Colorado trying to host that Intense Conference championship against the Danger. They'll be squaring off. It just depends on where. And then how about Texas on the road at Sioux Falls? After beating us here, they're up 22-15. Little time left in the 2nd quarter. Holding down that high-powered Sioux Falls offense. And here, of course, 28-17, Cedar Rapids leading your Bemidji Axemen. As Belmonte does that watermelon-style setup on the tee here. as he kicks this one right down the middle. Ballantyne fields it cleanly. Pippin fields it cleanly from his own 8, finds some running room, and gets it inside the 24-yard line. So good field position once again.
Yeah, nice job there by Pippin to field that cleanly and bring it up. And just get up the field. You're not working with a lot of time, so you just want to get what you can get and get down.
Now they move it back to the 23 here on the official spot. As the Axemen 27 yards away from getting back within at least 5 points. And they'll have plenty of time, 32 seconds. They won't be able to stop the clock unless they get out of bounds and get first downs here. So they're going to have to really use this time to their advantage, as they need to. Obviously, down by 11 here. There's still a lot of football left, but you cannot fall too far behind against these guys. First down. They look, end zone. Ballantyne just overshoots him there. He beats his man, Ricky Johnson. And the clock stops at 26. And Bill, do you like that call there? I do actually like that shot to the end zone.
I do, yeah. In that situation, I do like that. You know, it's the only thing I didn't like is they didn't have the mirror route on the other side that he could go to if Ballantyne was covered. It was going to Ballantyne regardless of what was going on, and I don't know that that's the best option. But taking your shot here, I do like that.
So just out of the reach of Ballantyne. Good ball there from Ockery right in the back of the end zone. Good looking throw there, but just a little bit out of the reach of Ballantyne. Obviously, the chemistry between those two is still at a minimum. Not much time playing with each other here. Second down. Ockery scrambling. Now goes to the right. Gets out of bounds. Smart decision there. And gets 4 yards. And the clock stops at 21 seconds. So Ockery pressured there heavily by Kyle Jenkins, but he still eludes the rush and gets 4 yards. And now it's third down and 6.
Yeah, nice job by Ockery finding the sideline after picking up what he could get there. Didn't try and fight for extra yards or anything like that. Just get out of bounds. Conserve that clock as much as you can.
And, you know, we haven't seen Ockery really take off and run like Ohm has done tonight. And maybe, hey, Ockery has had some design options there where he hasn't had any room to run. But give him room to run, this guy could run.
Yeah, he can scoot a little bit.
Third down and 6. A very big third down here. Ockery in the gun alone here. Gets away, now throws. Ballantyne, first down.
Nice job there by Ryan Ballantyne getting the ball out of bounds as soon as he had possession. Stopping that clock with 17.4 seconds. And they'll take a first down from about the 14-yard line.
Yeah, nice connection there. 8 yards on the reception down to the 14. And that's huge. I'd say at most here, Bill, you got at least, I'd say at least probably here, you got 2 shots. 17 seconds left. Clock does roll here, but obviously you got to keep throwing. Unless Ockery can find some room to get out of bounds and get some positive yardage. First down, they look, end zone for Lewis, and flag comes in the end zone, and man, what is going to be the call here?
And looks like Cedar Rapids.
Tough Johnson doesn't like the call there.
That's defensive holding coming on Cedar Rapids, and they are not happy about it. They're saying it was an uncatchable ball. Illegal contact.
Jeremy Green picks up his second penalty of the game. And now they'll get some yardage here down to the 9. So basically just a 5-yard penalty. Big yards though in this short field. So now it's first and 5 from the 9. At least shown on the scoreboard here. With 12.5 seconds left, Bill, I think 2 realistic shots here at the end zone, maybe 3 at the most.
I think you could probably get 3 because it's going to be shorter route, but he's going to have to take quick drops and get the ball out.
So first and 5 from the 9. Obviously they need that 4 to get a first down, but at this point the first down is almost pointless with only 12 seconds left. First down, Ockery looking, sacked here, and that is probably, or the clock does stop on a sack. And now the Axemen need to get back to the line here before they spot the ball. Ball is spotted here. And now the clock will start up again.
The half has expired.
What?
And people probably wondering why here. The clock stopped, but apparently the clock was supposed to keep rolling, and I'm not sure why. On a sack, the clock will stop until the ball is respotted, and boy, just tons of confusion and a lot of angry fans here.
I guess, because the clock stops on a sack. The ball was spotted, snapped, and spiked.
And there's still 8 seconds left. Why? How can 8 seconds just imaginally run off the clock like that? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
And now both Axemen coaches, Wooten and Fuller, out on the field, and no Axemen players have left the field.
That's the 8 seconds that they put back on the clock when the Cedar Rapids Titans had the ball. I don't understand that. It's been very poor officiating, I think, throughout the night, and quite honestly, this season has had some questionable calls as well.
Well, with that, we will take a break here. We'll come back in a minute to break down the first half stats, and a very unusual end to this first half here. Axemen down by 11, 28-17.
It is retirement planning season, and the number of options can be confusing. Individuals have the option to use traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Businesses can use simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, defined benefit pension plans, profit sharing plans, 403B plans, 401k or Roth 401k plans. As an employee, you might have access to one of these plans through your employer, and it is very important to take advantage of matching contributions. Who can help you with the confusing rules of retirement planning? Call Alan Zoots, a certified financial planner and financial associate with Thrivent Financial for Lutherans at 444-0200.
Strawberry Vegetable time at Perkins. Celebrate with 6 new items like the fresh strawberry and bacon pancake platter with 3 buttermilk pancakes topped with glazed strawberries and smoked bacon, plus 2 large eggs cooked to order. Or try out the fresh strawberry chicken salad with fresh sliced strawberries and seasoned chicken breasts piled on garden greens with a mustard balsamic vinaigrette, Asiago cheese, and slivered almonds. It's Strawberry Vegetable time at Perkins for a limited time only. Perkins, get yours before we're fresh out.
And welcome back here at the half. Cedar Rapids on top of your Bemidji Axemen, 28-17. And Bill, obviously a weird end to that first half, but we'll talk about how it was broken down, really. Passing comparisons, as we have our younger passes on the field here with James Hendricks heading the way on our promotional halftime here, but Spencer Ohm, 9 of 13. Wow. Here in the first half, 75 yards and a touchdown. Josh Ockery, 5 of 11, 55 yards and a touchdown, no picks. Spencer Ohm on the ground was another difference maker, 10 carries, 45 yards and a touchdown. Martin Ward, 6 carries, just 6 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Ockery also went 10 for 5 carries, 10 yards, and just the touchdown on the ground for him. That was the one rushing touchdown for the Axemen. Brian Frey leading all receivers with 43 yards on 4 catches for a touchdown. Carl Sims, 3 catches, 23 yards. Ryan Valentine, 3 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. So he is now up to the 1,000-yard mark. 3 yards total here for Valentine. And on extra points, as only 1 field goal has been attempted. Belmonte's 4 for 4 on extra points. Kokanen 1 for 2, hit that 25-yarder on their first possession. But other than that, Bill had no turnovers in this game thus far. And really just a very even battle. Obviously 11 points is the difference on the board right now with Cedar Rapids in front, but obviously a very weird ending to that first half. Axemen had a big opportunity taken away from them.
Yeah, they did. And, I don't know what happened with the clock situation. We know there's been some kind of miscommunications between the officials and the clock operators. But at the same time, where did those 8 seconds go? And that was very, very strange turn of events.
And there was no announcement. I mean, you got to at least make an announcement, I would think, at the least, and say the second should have expired for this and this and this, but not even that. We didn't get anything, and just halftime is all the announcement was made, and I'm not really sure why. But that's the way it was, and really right now it's, what do you think is the biggest difference in this game?
Right now, I think the biggest difference is that Cedar Rapids' defense is better than ours. Our defense has had the one stop, which is a huge stop, but we haven't gotten any consistent play out of them.
You're right.
And 17 points in the IFL and a half really isn't much.
No, it's definitely not. And you know, that's something for the second half that we have to improve on. We got to start making stops. Obviously, our offense will get a crack to start here with the ball first after deferring to start the game, but our defense is going to have to play better, and hopefully our offense can get some more scoring drives and finish them off. You know, we need some touchdowns, and we need to get this building excited again, because there was only a couple times where this whole crowd was on their feet in support of the Axemen, really just kept trying to get them fired up, but really kind of been non-existent. This Cedar Rapids team has silenced them. So that is going to do it here for our halftime show here. Your stats as the Axemen trailing here 28-17. We'll be back in 13 to 15 minutes for the start of our second half right here on the Axemen Radio Network.
Make your home a smart home with Paul Bunyan Communications. There are a lot of different options available, like door window sensors, light switches, thermostats, door locks, video cameras, garage door sensors, and a lot more. All controlled by you, remotely. Plus you can get text alerts and email alerts. It's the latest in technology, and it's now available from your local cooperative. Make your home a smart home. Get smart home services from Paul Bunyan Communications. Equipment warranty and liability disclaimer apply. Call for details.
darling. In the misty morning fog, my heart sits down bearing you, a brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. And whatever happened to Tuesday and so slow, gone down the old man with a Next time, Cammy does the thing with Green Mill. It's in Green Mill, yes.
Where it began, I can't begin to know, but then I know it's growing strong.
Yeah, the axe is trying to get the memo.
Wasn't the spring, and spring became the summer. Who would believe you'd come along? And touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never was, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurting runs off my shoulders, how can I hurt when holding you?
So what's with the stage?
Touching warm, reaching out,
Religious
touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe there never would. Oh, no, no. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, I believe they never could. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good.
And welcome back, everyone. Jamison St. Germain along here with Bill Merschman. And Bill, getting ready here for the second half of play. Axemen will get the ball to start the third quarter. And Bill, what are some expectations and some things that the Axemen really have to take care of in the second half to get the win?
Well, the defense has to play a heck of a lot better, I can tell you that much. They're not getting any kind of consistent pressure. They are allowing the quarterback to lead the game in rushing right now. There's really no one aspect of it that I think they need to do. I think they need to do everything better because, quite honestly, I didn't think the Axemen played very well at all tonight so far, and I think that starts right from the coaching staff on down.
And amazingly enough, they're still right in this game, only down by 11 points.
Yeah, they are.
And it just shows the potential of this team that we've seen all season long. That just how great of a team this could have been. And at 5-7, you still kind of hang your head a little bit, but you don't. It's the first season for this team, but you can always fall back on that. But this team would want to say that that's not the reason why that we would say we're 5-7. There's many things that would keep us at 5-7 right now. But the main thing is finish off this home season, home slate of things right, and somehow come out and get this win tonight, because you get the ball to start the second half. Let's get this crowd back into this game on their feet with an electrifying drive here.
Yeah, and this crowd isn't as big as we've seen it in past nights, but at the same time, these people paid money to come and see a good show. They want to see their team play well, and, give them what they came to see.
You're exactly right, Bill. Kickoff coming up next here, and just looking at some scores around the league as we do every game now. Obviously, that game last night with Tri-Cities beating Wyoming 64-35 in Wyoming. At the half in Colorado, it's 31-27, the Ice leading the Blizzard. Blizzard, of course, coming off their first win this season and trailing that top team in the Intense Conference, Colorado, by just 4 on the road. And Sioux Falls down by 8 at halftime at home to the Texas Revolution, a team that was revitalized last week in the win here against your Axemen. And now, of course, 28-17 here, Axemen trailing by 11. So, Bill, looking at some of those scores, obviously Colorado has wrapped up a playoff spot as well in the Intense Conference, but Green Bay, winning against Cedar Rapids at home by 19 last week. They got something to prove still. Hey, why not, we just get the one win. Let's keep, end the season on a good note and get a couple more wins.
Yeah, I'm sure they want to keep positive momentum rolling as they move into the playoff section of their schedule. In the Axemen, they want to make sure that they end here on a good note, too. The community has been very good to them with all the sponsorship we've gotten, with all the fans in attendance every game. And you know what? Come out and give them a good show.
Yep, last home game of the season, and obviously no better way than to get a win. And obviously the last 2 home games we've had, Bill, haven't gone as planned. We lost to the Tri-Cities Fever, and we just lost to Texas last week. So maybe third time's a charm in these last 3 home games, and we surely hope it is against probably the best of the 3 teams in that schedule.
Yeah, we really hope that they come out and have a second half to remember. Something to build on as we move forward.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in 30 seconds to start play here in the second half of play from Palace Casino Field.
It is retirement planning season, and the number of options can be confusing. Individuals have the option to use traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Businesses can use simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, defined benefit pension plans, profit-sharing plans, 403B plans, 401k or Roth 401k plans. As an employee, you might have access to one of these plans through your employer, and it is very important to take advantage of matching contributions. Who can help you with the confusing rules of retirement planning? Call Alan Zutz, a certified financial planner and financial associate with Thrivent Financial for Lutherans at 444-0202.
Welcome back, everyone, as Valentine and Pippin back to return this second half kickoff here as we start things off in quarter number 3. And Bill, got to get it started off right. We've had some solid kick returns tonight. See if we can follow that up with this one here as Valentine gets a bad bounce. This one goes into the end zone, and he's going to have to, this one is going to be covered up in the end zone. And this is going to be...
I think we've got it, Jamison, but I wonder if there isn't an injured. No, Pippin got it. No, that's about as bad of a luck play as I've seen.
Yeah, that's going to be a Rouge point. That's only the second time. I was questioned, obviously, when you don't get it out of the end zone, that is the call. It's a 1-point Rouge here for the Titans. We haven't seen really any of those this season. The only one we did see was against the Blizzard back in that Week 1 regular season game where the Axemen got it. But Cedar Rapids gets this one. That's a heck of a kick there by Rockney Belmonte.
Well, I wonder if that is at the advantage of his watermelon kick, because it just does have such an unusual spin to it.
I mean, Valentine chased that thing like a chicken all the way across the field.
Yeah.
First down and 10. Ockery throws it to the right to Jarbo, and he completes it here inside the 10, the 9, and he's driven back. Gain of 4 there on first down.
Yeah, just get a little bit of breathing room there for the offense as they come out of their own 5-yard line.
So second down and 6 here. Axemen starting at their own 5, down by 12 now with that Rouge point, 29-17. And Bill, it's I like the play call there. Just a little 4-yard button hook there to Jarbo, but Man, you got probably one of the fastest wide receivers. Maybe a couple deep balls a quarter to Ballantyne is what I'd actually do. Second down, they're going to go deep for it all to Lewis, just right through his hands, incomplete, covered by Brown.
Well, it was a nice ball there by our quarterback, Josh Ockery, who laid it out there. It looks like we got some extracurricular activity going on here back at the line of scrimmage.
Kadre Pinder and Kyle Jenkins exchanging some extra words after the play, and
there's a flag on the field.
Interesting to see. Actually, it wasn't Kyle Jenkins here. Looks like Jeremiah Price, 92. Kadre Pinder. Now let's see what they're going to do here. No call has been made. The flag still stands sits on the field. So if those are offsetting, well, yeah, it was after the play, I guess. But still, offsetting penalties usually means repeating of a down. But
yeah, that's what I thought.
Not really understanding this, but Bill, that's another occasion there. You throw a flag and you call it on both teams. That happened earlier in the game where, yes, Jarbo threw a shot and then Robert Brown threw one back at him. He threw the first punch, but you only flagged one team. I don't understand why you flagged two here.
That's a good question. There again, the officiating tonight has been questionable at best.
So it goes as an incomplete pass with a penalty with it. And third down and 6 here. Josh Ockery gets away, and nice job here. Ockery gets the first down. Flags flying here on the near sideline, and not sure what it's going to be. Pippin and Tuff Johnson were tied up here on the left side.
Yeah, both number 7s, I think, got tangled up, and I don't know if that's going to be on the defense or if that's going to be on Pippin.
And away from the play, too, more so. I'm not really...
Yep, opposite side of the field.
Yeah. So if anything, it would have been against Cedar Rapids for an illegal contact, but obviously there was really no ball. There was no pass thrown anyway, so there's not really anything that you can make for a case there for illegal contact. Right. So first down, nice. That's a good play, though. Josh Ockery starting to use his legs more on undesigned run plays, and that's where he really can be a factor.
Well, we hope so, but at the same time, we don't want him scrambling around too much with being the only quarterback we have left.
First down and 10. Ockery keeps it up the middle here. Another run to Ockery, and being tied up there by a couple of Cedar Rapids defenders. And
have Pippin or Matthews Jr. gotten a carry all night?
And Ockery's on the bottom of that pile. Oh, man, I held my breath there for a second there. But, no, I think, boy, looking at it.
I don't think they've touched the ball all night long. No.
And you're right. 7 carries, 6 of them by Josh Ockery.
And 1 by Ballantyne for a loss.
And
so what sense does that make? I would really like to be in the game planning mode of this team right now to see what they're actually trying to do.
And Bill, looking back at that last Cedar Rapids game, Warren Matthews Jr. rushed 14 times for 70 yards.
Well, now there we got Pippin just got his first carry. He picked up the first down.
So DeMario Pippin gets the first carry of the game by a running back here for the Axemen, and he gets a first down. And Bill, like I was saying, back in Cedar Rapids when we took that really tough loss, 60-57, Matthews Jr. on the ground, 14 carries, 70 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
and he hasn't even touched the ball once today.
The ball yet. Yeah, that's.
And not taking anything away from DeMario Pippin, same explosive back, different quality and skill sets, both good backs, but Warren Matthews Jr. destroyed this team last time he played him.
Yeah,
on the road.
Yeah.
First down and 10. They give it to Pippin this time, and only a yard is gained.
So now we're just going to go straight. No, Pippin's hurt, and he's holding the knee. I hope that's just a carpet burn or something.
Yeah, Pippin is down, being helped here by Ballantyne and Sean Kennedy on the ground here, and he does rise halfway up, now back down, and Boy, not a good sign ever when you see an athlete holding their knee.
No, it isn't. And I didn't see him twist it funny or anything in the pile.
So they're going to tend to DeMario Pippin down on the field. And now they're going to rise him to his feet, and Pippin's night could very well be done. Can't really put any pressure on that left leg. Being helped off the field, and they're, you got another running back in, Warren Matthews Jr., and a very good quality backup. As we just mentioned, he just absolutely hammered this number one rush defense at the time of Cedar Rapids back in Cedar Rapids the last time they played him on April 19th. And Pippin exits the game here. So Matthews Jr. comes into the game after the 1 yard pickup there by Pippin, and you just got to hope that's nothing serious.
Yeah, he did kind of get into the bench area on his own, so he's being looked at now. We'll see what the status is when we can.
Lewis and Jarbo on the left, Ballantyne alone to the right. 2nd down and 9. Throwing to the end zone. Pass is intercepted here. Jeremy Green, he did have Lewis in the back of the end zone open. Jarbo. But he underthrown pass there by Ockery.
Yeah, underthrown and not enough zip on it at all. So that was just, it was like a big sign that says, please intercept me. Those kind of passes like that, you gotta get them out there for the receiver or they're going out of bounds. You cannot underthrow that pass.
Yeah, and Ockery had been doing such a nice job of leading the receivers for most of this game, but again, inexperienced all season. He hasn't even had an opportunity. So if you're a fan that's just getting into this and you might not know that, you can't really hang your head on this guy yet because he hasn't had much of any opportunity.
Well, he hasn't, and even early in the season, he was healthy and still didn't get to play or even dress for that matter. So I'm not sure what the logic was there, but we're new to this league too, Jamison, so that factors in as well.
Yep. So Ockery with pretty much his one big mistake of the game. 1st down pass is incomplete. Kicked around a little bit there by Brian Prey, but he is unable to come up with the pass, thrown a bit behind him there by Spencer Ohm.
Yeah, Brian Prey, a little speedster out of, he is from Pittsburgh State University. Just kind of bobbled that one, is a bit underthrown and behind him, so not a great pass there from Ohm. But at the same time, I thought it was catchable. And there again, receiver just settles down right in the middle of the defense, and he's wide open.
Yeah, Prey, we haven't seen him just the 3 times this season, rather. Obviously, we didn't see him in the exhibition. Was hurt to begin the season. He was with the Blizzard. Fumbled snap here. Ohm picks it up, breaks off a tackle, and gets it all the way down to the 20. A 1st down, even after a broken play.
Yeah, and Joey Johnson is limping now again. He is definitely not playing at full strength as Ohm was able to bounce off his tackle. Your middle linebacker doesn't make a tackle on a quarterback. Something's got to be wrong, and I think it's the injury to Joey Johnson right now.
1st down run there, but as I was talking about Brian Prey, came over from the Blizzard from last season. But before that, he was actually in the AFL, Bill. He was with the Philadelphia Soul just 2 seasons ago. So he does have that extra level ability. Small size, but boy, they looked like they were offside there with that motion.
Yeah, they did.
At least by 2 to 3 yards. As Ohm will get another solid yard gain here, about 5 yards, and you got to wonder where the flags were there. 2 to 3 yards off the line of scrimmage.
And normally Dixie Wooden is all over that. He's not saying a whole lot, so maybe it's just the angle we're at that looks that way. But right now, the Axemen defense isn't playing with much emotion at all.
No. In that defensive backfield, we've seen a number of different defensive backs. Gary Wilburn, of course, being the one that's really had to anchor it for the most part, and he hasn't even been here all season. 2nd down and 5. Flags fly on this play, and this one looks to be...
They were a good 5 yards on the field before the ball was snapped.
And that's 2 plays in a row, and this time it is called here by the officials, so that 5-yard run by Ohm is erased now. It'll be 2nd and 10. 2nd and about 9, rather. They say he's at 6 on that play. And now this crowd lighting up now. We're on the second down and 9 upcoming play, and now we see Jory Johnson exiting the field. And Bill, it was only a matter of time. They're going to put, looks like Ronnie Nelson at linebacker as Cesar Rodriguez looks back to defensive line on the right side. And not sure how much experience Ronnie Nelson has at linebacker, but they're going to stick him back there. Second down and 9. Ohm back to pass. Throws to the end zone. Jump ball. Incomplete. Both players go over the boards. It looks like Lamar Allen and Carl Sims. And Sims gets up, tries to help Lamar Allen up as well. Good class there from Sims.
Yep.
And both players are okay.
Yeah, it's good to see. And but look who's laying down on the field now. That's Ronnie Nelson.
Ronnie Nelson, first play at linebacker, is very shaken up here. Really isn't much movement at all.
Yeah, they had him on a straight ahead blitz, which I'm guessing is about all he knows right now as far as playing linebacker, but he got kind of undercut and went down awkwardly, and it doesn't look good for Mr. Nelson right now.
Man, I mean, just injury after injury, and you just got to wonder, there's only so many players you can carry. 24, I believe, is the max, and obviously you only suit up 20 per each game, and then you have the 4 inactives, but man, it seems like that maybe there should even be more. I mean, you only have 16 that actually start, 8 on offense, 8 on defense, and you got some special teams guys, the kicker included to package in there. So it leaves you with just 3 guys really that are active on the bench, and you know, that's 1 linebacker down. And if Ronnie Nelson can't go here, it looks like he's rising to his feet. But
he's going to be helped off the field, and his right leg is definitely very weak right now. He's very ginger on it.
That doesn't look good at all. That might be something a little bit more serious than we've seen. As hopefully Nelson, it isn't too serious.
Here comes Jory Johnson again now.
And I think a lot of that is probably just Johnson saying, you know, I am hurt, and I've seen a lot of great players out there playing hurt, especially in the NFL. Hey, I can be one of those guys too, but you just got to hope he doesn't do anything to further damage that injury. So now, Bill, 3rd down and 9 here. 29-17 our score after that Rouge point. Ohm steps back, pump fakes, end zone, interception! Gary Wilbur in the end zone.
Well, Joey Johnson, I was watching him in that play. He can't move. Wilbur made a great play in the interception, but we were basically playing with 7 there.
Gary Wilburn gets position there and makes a great play, his 4th interception of the season. And Bill, we just talked about him. He's pretty much been anchoring that defensive backfield in short time. I mean, he's only been here for 6 games, and quite the job he's done anchoring that defensive backfield. Yes, they've been bottom in the league, but you need at least the one guy, as we relied on Daquan Starling for a while. Now it's been Gary Wilbur.
Yep, big play there by Wilburn. All right, put a drive together.
So Wilburn, yes, with his 4th pick of the season. He had the 3 coming into the game, of course, as Ockery throws on 1st down to Jarbo. Jarbo, you got to run forward there. As he was looking for running room, spinning around in all directions.
Yeah.
He will get the 6 yards on the 1st down.
Yeah, it looked like he was playing basketball, like he couldn't move that one pivot foot, and he had to look for someone to pass to. And absolutely got lit up by the defensive lineman from Cedar Rapids. That was not a pretty hit.
So 2nd down and 5. Jarbo there gets the 5 yards on 1st down. Pippin remains out of the game. Matthews Jr. in at a slot wide receiver on the outside, along with Jarbo and Ballantyne. They throw to Ballantyne on the right. Pass caught. Ballantyne has a 1st down.
Nice job there by Ballantyne. Able to pick up the 1st down for the Axemen, little comeback route.
So Ballantyne gets enough for the Axemen 1st down. Those is their 9th 1st down of the game. And Ballantyne now 4 catches, 47 yards in that touchdown. So Bill, we targeted him at that 80 to 85 yard mark. He's 40 yards away to at least get to that goal that we pretty much set for him tonight to get on pace to break that single season record.
Well, hopefully he gets as much as he can here, so it's a lot easier next week.
First down, they give to Warren Matthews Jr. Of course, he was the running killer against the Cedar Rapids Titans back on April 19th. He gets about a yard here on first down. And Bill, yeah, we've been questioning that all game. You know, neither running back getting a carry in the first half. And granted, yeah, there was only 4, maybe 5 possessions, but you run it so effectively against them the last time you played them. And yeah, they're going to try and stop it even more this time, but you don't have Nick Truesdell anymore. You got to switch something up.
Right. And, you know, we keep harping on how great Ryan Ballantyne is, and he is. He's a great receiver for this league. But you've got to have other aspects of this offense as well, and we've got some talent there. We need to use it.
Second down and 9 after the yard gain there for Matthews Jr. Ockery looks. Now he'll take it off himself. Here goes Ockery. Flag in the secondary. As we'll check on this, if anything, it's going to probably be, you know, we had the illegal contact or illegal contact penalty just a moment ago.
That's very close to a first down.
As Ockery was, right around midfield where he scrambled to, so it'll either be a first down or third and very short. We'll check on the penalty here. I guess, Bill, I didn't have my eyes really in that. I was looking at what Ockery was doing, but... So I think they picked up the flag or they declined it. Obviously, we got the first down, so I think they declined any penalty it was.
Yeah. The result of the play was a first down.
So Ockery does get that 9 yards that he needed there. Great vision again by Ockery. Yeah, as you say, Bill, you got to be careful still, but Ockery is doing a great job seeing the field when he's running with the football. Obviously, he's just made that one mistake with that underthrown ball, but he's still doing well, and now he's finding some running room, getting around the outside, thrown into the dasher. Flag on the near side here.
So it's been a lot of, he's picking it up. There's a lot of behind the play and opposite side of the field where it seems like flags are coming from, which is unusual.
So Ockery gets 4 here on first down after the no call as the flag was picked up. 2nd and 6 upcoming. We got just under 4 minutes to play here in the third quarter of our last home game this season. Still trailing by a dozen, 29-17 at the hands of the Cedar Rapids Titans. And just can't stress how important this game is for the Axemen. Of course, playoffs, as we've said, out of reach, but you know, this is a playoff team you're playing, and it'd be a signature win if you got the win. As Ockery finds some space, still on his feet and getting some extra yards down inside the 9. First down, Axemen.
Well, great job there by Josh Ockery to get on the extra effort. He took a couple of shots, but was able to launch himself forward, pick up the first down.
Yeah, great job there up front too, Bill. He got some great blocks from his offensive linemen and just following him right through the hole and doing it all after he finds the hole.
Well, and there we go with the read option again as well.
So Josh Ockery on the night continues to pile up the numbers. 10 carries for 48 yards. Still at just the 69 yards passing, but he's shown he can do it both ways very well. First down, again, Ockery runs to the left side, puts his head down, flag comes in again. And now a helmet is ripped off here of Josh Jarbo by Tough Johnson.
Now the flag had come in, I think, before the helmet came off, but...
Now 2 flags on the field. Boy, just a lot of words being exchanged between Johnson and Jarbo. They've been kind of jaunting all game long. Another one comes in late here.
And that might be for some words said after the original penalty was called. If that's the case, that could be very advantageous here for the Axemen.
So just Flag City, really, in Palace Casino Field right now. 3 flags on the field. All 4 officials converge, or 4 of the 5, excuse me, converging.
Well, kind of like Dr. Sheldon Cooper and Fun with Flags.
So they'll talk about things here, and
supposed to be fun, Jameson.
I honestly don't even know what you're talking about, Bill.
Really?
Maybe I
From
just...
the Big Bang Theory?
Oh, I guess I've only seen that show just a few times.
Oh, goodness. That makes me laugh very hard.
But Kaylee Kuoko, I mean, however you pronounce her last name. Kuoko, yeah. Some very good-looking woman there to watch on that show. But,
well, yeah. And the young actress who plays Bernadette is good, too. But anyway.
So Shervanti Johnson. Jeremiah Price has been ejected at his second unsportsmanlike conduct. The ball is going to be spotted at the 1.5. All 3 flags called on Cedar Rapids here.
Well, as we said, this could be very advantageous for the Axemen.
So the Axemen just getting really tormented with here by some of these Cedar Rapids players. And now we'll see, Bill. This is, Cedar Rapids doing a lot of giving here with these penalties, and they're just kind of saying, hey, we're going to be tough with you,
Well,
now we're giving you an opportunity to score here. I don't know what the heck's going on.
Yeah, number 92, Jeremiah Price, has been ejected from the game for his second unsportsmanlike penalty of the game. So that is advantageous for the Axemen as well.
And he was still giving some words to the officials there. Because now he finally exits to the locker room. Ockery fakes the option, dives, and gets to the 1-yard line. So he gets about a half yard here on 1st and goal.
Again, you have a running back like Warren Matthews Jr. who can get tough yards on the inside, down on the goal line, and you don't give the ball to him. You option, fake option, whatever that play was called, and let your quarterback run with it. I don't understand that play call.
So Ockery keeps it again. He gets about a yard. It'll be got 11 carries for 49 yards now and the touchdown. So now 2nd and goal from just outside the 1-yard line. Ockery under center.
Valentine's talking to the bench for the Cedar Rapids Titans. He wasn't even in the play. He was over talking to the players from the other team that were on the bench. And Ockery carried the ball for a loss. I don't know.
A lot of question marks is really all I can say right now. But what we're witnessing now in these last few weeks on the home turf, and I'm sure a lot of fans are wondering what's going on as well. I mean, just wondering the same thing. That's a 2-yard loss there on the carry. Valentine was on the field, one of their 8, but he wasn't even involved in that play. 3rd down and goal here from the 3. Ockery keeps it again to the right, gets alongside and punches it in, this time for the touchdown. And Bill, they get stopped, but then they keep running it anyway.
I'm glad Josh Ockery was able to punch that ball in, and that says a lot about that kid's heart. But I still don't like that play call at all. I'm sorry, I don't like the way this offense has been running the last few weeks, and there's really, I don't know. I'm sure he's got reasons for it, but...
So 2nd rushing touchdown of the night here for Ockery. And now the Axemen are waiting for their 8th player to get on the field, and this is just an unorganized mess.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say anymore.
They got 16 seconds to line it up. They'll have plenty of time, but still not a good showing. You got to get the show on the road here. And now extra point try from Polkinen. Snap from Rodriguez. Botch snap it is. Ockery running here. And now he'll take it along the sideline. Punches it in, and I don't know if he ever got in. He was so close, but they're going to rule him down. And it's no good is the ruling. 29-23 is the score as it remains. But Bill, boy, from the start of that play, the one player not coming on the field.
Yeah, and now Coach Fuller is saying he called timeout, and I don't know.
Oh, good goodness. I don't know why you'd call a time. I mean,
Well, because of the unorganization to try and get everybody on the same page again, but he didn't get it called. It's terribly unorganized right now.
So 29-23 in that Bill, that Rouge point. The 1 point for Cedar Rapids. How big of a difference could that be now? I mean, yeah, it's just 1 point, but if Cedar Rapids scores again and decides, hey, they're going to go for 2 or something like that, that's a 14-point game, and the Axemen can do nothing but try and tie it. But there's so many different factors now that factor in as we missed our extra point, and they got an extra Rouge point, so it's basically just a 2-point swing.
Yeah, it's definitely every point matters in this game, you know, that right there. Even if we could have gotten that 2-point conversion on the botched snap, all of a sudden that takes that 1 point out of it a little bit. So, you know, what we got to hope for now just, and I'm sorry, but I'm looking down here at the Axemen. They're leaning on the boards. They're sitting down. You know, that's not the body language of a winning football team right now.
No.
And granted, there's a halftime, or not a halftime thing, but an Axes thing going on with the dance competition. But, you know, and you know, the player sitting down, Ryan Ballantyne, and he's got to be one of your leaders. But, as they say, attitude reflects leadership.
It really does. It really does. And now, Polkinen will tee this one up here. And let's see, Bill, I've been waiting for it. It looks like Cedar Rapids is trying to move guys up to be ready for any kind of onside kick. They had it done to them a few different times by Polkinen successfully. And so I'm interested to see if Polkinen will try it at least once tonight. As here it goes, a line drive kick through the hands of Hayes, and now fielded in the end zone here by Brown. He takes it out to the 10, breaks through one guy, now is taken down, and there he is again. That is Lamar Allen, the only guy that seems to be able to wrap up.
Yep, nice job on the tackle there by Lamar Allen. I'm very impressed with this young defensive back tonight.
Allen in his first game with the Axemen tonight. He was with the squad last week. Just did not get enough practices in to be able to be eligible, but now this return of 16 yards or so is going to be backed up. At least half the distance to the goal here.
Well,
holding call.
Momentum might be swinging a little bit here for the Axemen. Hopefully the defense will step up and make a play.
45 seconds to play here in quarter number 3. We have a 6-point ball game, 29-23, but and Bill, the Axemen have done a great job keeping possession in this third quarter, keeping that Cedar Rapids offense off the field and trying to tire out that tight defense and to try and keep your own defense fresh as well. I mean, Gary Wilburn, that interception meant a world of difference. See if our defense can do something similar here. First down, Ohm pressured and sacked in the backfield. Corlin Pittman.
Nice job by Corlin Pittman beating his man straight up. And momentum definitely on the side of the Axemen here as the third quarter winds down.
Corlin Pittman tacking on a sack there. That is, looks like number 4 on the season for the nose tackle. Now it looks like Cedar Rapids is content to let the third quarter run out here. As Stout and Spencer Ohm will talk things over. So it's a loss of 6 on the sack. And now it's going to be a second down and 16 when we come back as 3 quarters now in the books in Coquelis Bowl number 5. We'll be back for quarter number 4 right after this on the Axemen Radio Network.
Coquelis Bowl number 5.
Stop on down to the Ground Round every Monday night for fantastic food and beverage specials. The Ground Round will have happy hour drink specials and appetizer specials every Monday night from 4 p.m. to close. Be sure to try the wings with our new Bemidji Axemen sauce. 8 wings for $4. Also, meet the coaches and players during the Coaches Show every Monday night from 6 to 7. It's all right here at the Ground Round in Bemidji.
We've got what you like. Ground Round.
Holiday Inn Express in Bemidji welcomes indoor football teams and fans. Begin your game day with their smart breakfast and complete your game day by enjoying their convenient amenities, such as pool,
getting an
sauna,
explanation there from
and
Kirby
free wireless
to ask
internet.
why they were
Stay
running
smart,
back so
book
much,
now
but
at Holiday Inn
he said
Express
just
in
due to
Bemidji.
numbers,
Call them today at
you know,
218-751-2487. Holiday Inn Express located at 2422 Ridgeway Avenue Northwest in Bemidji.
And welcome back here. Fourth quarter, the final quarter of this regular season. The first ever season for the Bemidji Axemen right here in Bemidji, as they'll have obviously the last game next week in Green Bay at the Rest Center in Green Bay, Wisconsin. But Bill, what a season. Obviously 5-7, not quite the season you wanted, but at the same time, they're still putting on a show here. At least that third quarter, I would say, goes to the Axemen.
Yeah, you know what, I definitely agree with you because the Axemen came out and pretty much took over the second half of that third quarter. We questioned some things, but at the same time, they got things done. They scored some points. They made some stops. They got a turnover. You know what? They were entertaining. That's what you want out of this football team.
And now, right here, Bill, 2nd and 16, your defense should be absolutely licking its chops at this play right here because you got to make sure everyone is accounted for downfield. You have the advantage here. You can't let Cedar Rapids off the hook on this play.
No, you can't. I look for Cesar Rodriguez to step up and make a play here.
So we'll see what happens. 2nd and 16, they need a big gain here. See if the Axemen can come up big. Second down, they throw. It's catches made by Hayes, pushed out of bounds, and Hayes didn't think he was down, but as he tried to continue to run, but he's marked down at the 19, and that is enough for a first down. Man, that's tough right there. You give up that big of a play, and your defensive backs, they're respecting the long ball, I think, a little bit too much. You can't give them that much separation.
No, I agree with you, James. And they've got to make sure they've got tighter coverage than that.
And if anything, why not try, take a chance. Try some press right here. I mean, challenge these receivers a little bit. Because it seems like they've not been challenged too much in this game. First down and 10 here from the 19. Holmes steps back, fires, caught again by Hayes, wide open. Taken down, still not taken down, rather, inside the 20. As finally he's brought down by a couple of Axemen defenders. Lamar Allen at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah, and there again, Jory Johnson is having a difficult time moving and running on that leg. Give it to him. He's got the heart of a warrior. But I think if they had anyone else that could play that spot, he'd be out of there.
And there you go, Bill. Maybe that's why, these defensive backs are, hey, we're kind of down a player here. It's more so 7 against 8. So maybe that's why they are giving as much separation. You don't want anything over the middle because Jory Johnson's going to be, it's tough.
Right. And, the receivers, they got the running start, so you got to respect that. And they cut off the route, and so you're just kind of left to dry.
They throw again to Hay. What a catch. Oh, my goodness. J.J. Hayes with the one-handed snag. He is absolutely zoned in, gain of 9.
Wow, that was a great catch. Went up and got it with one hand. Tough to stop that.
Really, nothing you can do about that. I don't care what defensive back, who you are. If he's going to make that catch, it's almost like, what else can I do, really?
Right.
But Mike McMillan's had a tough game trying to cover Hayes because, we talk about Carl Sims. He was the top, he's still the top receiver in the IFL, at least by record-wise. And you got Brian Prey, who's played in the AFL. J.J. Hayes is no stranger either. He's been playing very good football down the stretch. Cesar Rodriguez, there's your man, Bill. Makes the sack here.
Nice job there by Cesar Rodriguez coming off the right side, able to get the sack on quarterback for Cedar Rapids.
Loss of 7 on the play. And that came at a good time because now it's third down and about 7 here for Cedar Rapids. And now that's going to force Stout to really try and open things up once again. Obviously a passing down. And let's see if the Axemen defense can make this stop here in the fourth quarter. get back ahead in this game. Obviously, the Axemen have not had a lead in this game. Let's see if they can come up big. Third down. Whistles flying, pass overthrown. Boy, why did those whistles have to fly?
I think Dixie Wooten called timeout right before the play. Oh, Cedar Rapids called timeout.
So Coach Stout and the Titans call their first timeout here in the second half of play, and now I think they're wondering
who called it.
What's going on here and now I think you're right. I think it was Dixie Wooten who actually called it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stout wondering why he was granted a timeout, but Dixie Wooten saw something in that offensive scheme there that he didn't like, and boy, obviously, the result of the play, maybe Spencer Ohm just kind of threw that ball away, but man, if that timeout wasn't called, you wonder what if, but you can't really do that at the same time.
Exactly.
So the Axemen call their first timeout here, and maybe it's just to give them a little bit of chance to kind of, get some breathing room here and rest up, because this is a big play. This could be a big play down the stretch in this last 11:40 in this game. Axemen still, they've been climbing. They've been really trying hard to get that first lead of the game, to finally get them over the hump against this team that has had their number all season long. And man, they're just 12 minutes away, still down by 6. So now it'll be a 3rd down and 7 situation here. We got the kiss cam on here, and Bill, if they put it up here, I don't know who's gonna.
I'm sure you and Richard can take care of that. My wife is here, so.
3rd down and 7. Looks end zone wide open. Sims for the touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was there, but Javid, is it Best? What's his first name?
Byron
Best was not able to keep up with him on the coverage. So Javid Best, he's a receiver for Detroit, or running back for Detroit, I think.
And I mean, you look at the facts of experience here. Byron Best, haven't even really heard of the guy. You're lining him up against the IFL's leading receiver back in 2012 with the best team in the IFL. Who's going to win that matchup? At least 9 times out of 10. I mean, Byron Best, he's been matched up against him and Prey in this game, but...
Well, it's Byron Best out of the University of Toledo doing what he can, but just kind of outmatched there on that one-on-one.
Yeah, he really was. So it's a touchdown drive once again here for Cedar Rapids. That's the 2nd touchdown pass of the night.
And Dixie Wooten is giving him a real earful. He is totally upset. Apparently there was some kind of blown coverage. Maybe he's supposed to have an outside contain on that instead of an inside shoulder. I'm not sure, but Dixie Wooten is not happy with his defense right now.
So now the score runs Cedar Rapids 36 with that Rouge point, of course, as Belmonte hit another extra point. He's 5 for 5 on the night. Your Bemidji Axemen 23. There's 11:28 to play. As we got our trike races here.
I think the Axes are supposed to be out helping with that, weren't they? Uh-oh. She got him. She got him.
So the girlfriend beats the boyfriend, at least I'm assuming. And 11:28 left to play in this game. Axemen have a very high hill to climb. Yeah, it's 13 points, not a lot, and that can be erased in a matter of even seconds in the IFL, but against this defense, that doesn't give you much. I mean, you take what the defense gives you in this game, Bill, but Cedar Rapids has been closing those doors quickly.
Yes, they have, and it's been difficult to watch because we've got talent here, and it just doesn't seem to be executing on all cylinders. Maybe because of the roster turnover, different players all the time. I don't know if that's normal for this league. I don't think that it is, at least not to this extent. But, I would guess it's kind of a learning process for everybody.
And the elements in this game to take into effect. You've lost 2 players now. Well, Jory Johnson's halfway in the game, really, but you lost Ronnie Nelson. You lost Demario Pippen. Those are 2 starters right there.
Yep.
And you're also down your starting quarterback. So how much more can you really take?
Right.
Belmonte, another squib kick. Valentine fields it from the 5. Here he goes to the 10 to the 15, finds a little bit of a lane, and gets it up near the 16-yard line. So 11-yard return there for the 1,000-yard receiver for the Axemen this season. He's the number one. I'm trying to think of the right word to say there, but Valentine has crossed the 1,000-yard mark tonight with the 47 yards on the 4 catches, has the lone touchdown reception from Ockery, and what a catch it was, really, from Ockery in that play.
Well, hopefully we can get the ball in his hands here to finish out the 4th quarter and maybe stack those yards on a little bit more, even if we don't win the game. But you know what? They're not out of it. As poorly as they've played and as many questionable decisions as have been made, they're still not out of the game.
Far from it. Still 11 minutes left. First down, Ockery looks to the right. Pass is thrown and hits a coach there of the Cedar Rapids Titans. As he was looking for the 5-foot, I'm not even sure how tall Warren Matthews Jr. is, 5'10" they list him at, but that's probably a generous number there, as he looks a little bit smaller from up here as that pass was thrown a little bit too high. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Well, he was open. I think it was the right call.
They try and hit Matthews Jr. on the left. Incomplete pass. But again, still plenty of time left. Time to put together a couple good drives here and get back in this game. 2nd down. Ockery, short pass to the right, caught by Jarbo, looks for a block from Lewis. And Jarbo gets some yards after the catch up to the 22, gain of 6.
Nice job there by Jarbo. He's been having a battle with Tough Johnson tonight, both physically and verbally. Hopefully it just continues to be an on-the-field battle and nothing more.
So 3rd down and about 3 here, I'd say. He spotted at the 23. Gave him 7 on that reception, rather. 3rd down and 3. They line up 2 to the right and 2 to the left. Valentine and Jarbo in motion to the left. They throw, pass knocked down at the line. Kyle Jenkins saw that one the entire way.
Yeah, he just went up and knocked it down with both hands. Almost could have intercepted the ball.
And if you're Coach Fuller here, I think it's pretty obvious what you have to do, and that's leave your offense on the field and go for it here on 4th down and 3.
Yep, absolutely.
Because obviously a field goal, you'd like to get points, but even the field goal is not even close to automatic from this distance. And that would only get you within 10. Still a 2-possession game. 4th down and 3, All 3 wide receivers to the left. Ockery looking downfield. Matthews Jr., what a play!
Great job by Josh Ockery, finding Matthews Jr. down the right sideline and is able to deliver the ball right into his hands. Beautiful pass.
All the way down to the 4-yard line. Gain of 23 yards. A beautiful pass right into the breadbasket, as it was a great matchup, Bill. That's great vision from Ockery. Sees the matchup, running back against the linebacker Haig, and obviously who's going to have the more speed in that situation? Warren Matthews Jr. makes the play.
Absolutely great job there by Warren Matthews Jr. to hold on to that ball in traffic.
Yeah, of course he did take that shot at the end there into the dasher. So 1st down and goal from the 4. They give it to him on the run here. Matthews Jr. into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, there we go. Get the ball to your running back. Run down there a little bit. Nice call. Great job there by the offense to pop that ball into the end zone.
Matthews Jr. doing it on the receiving end and now on the rushing end. As Matthews Jr. picks up his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. And he's only got 6 yards tonight on the ground, but that one really counted there. It's back within 1 possession here of 8 points. See if Polkinen can tack this one on to make it a 7-point game here. 36-28 our score. Here's the snap from Rodriguez. Some early movement. Kick on the way. It is up and it is good. Polkinen was knocked out at the end of a late flag coming up here against Richard Posey. And that could mean a big deal too.
This will be enforced on 1st down, correct?
Yep.
So they cannot score on this return.
No, they can't. No matter what, they're going to have to move it back at least 10 yards.
Okay.
Or is it 5? I'm not even
this
sure.
might even be 15 on this one if it's roughing the kicker.
Yeah, because obviously the running into the kicker, I think, is the 5, but then roughing the kicker, which he was laying on top of him. If anything, this has got to be roughing. And now Coach Fuller will get an explanation from the head official tonight. Didn't get the names on the officials tonight. We've had similar crews all season long. We've had some different guys stepping in each week as well, but
they usually give that to us. Penalties declined, so it would have been on the extra point.
I believe they called running into the kicker. He made a kicking symbol there, so that would mean that would just be a retry in the extra point, which would have been meaningless anyway.
Right.
So that was the explanation we got. 8:12 to play, 36-29. They haven't put the extra point on the board yet, but it's a 36-29 game now. Here still with 8:12 remaining. Plenty of time, Bill, and that was a great drive there for the Axemen.
Yeah, it was. Very good drive. They got the ball down the field quickly. Warren Matthews Jr. with the big run at the end. So great job there by the Axemen offense. Let's hope the defense can do the same.
And now they have 30 on the board, but I think someone up in the clock operator's booth maybe thought, all that commotion, maybe they got a 2-point conversion. I wasn't looking, but...
Well, and they threw the whole drive there. It said 3rd and 10, so it's, and I don't think that Cedar Rapids used all their timeouts already, have they?
No, definitely not.
No, that's what it says.
Squib kick from Polkinen, fielded by Brown in the end zone. Has a lane here on the left sideline. Now he's thrown into the dasher here by Byron Best, but he gets another good return inside the 22-yard line.
So now we don't have a penalty mark back on this, so defense has to step up.
See if that defense can make a play here, make a play and then some. Obviously we have the interception by Gary Wilburn. Each team has thrown an interception now in this game. And Bill, you look at it, in this game, Josh Ockrey has actually had a pretty good game. I mean, running the ball, he's got the 2 rushing touchdowns, just under 50 yards on 13 carries. He hasn't even hit the 100-yard mark, but he's still doing it well, throwing the ball. His own looks downfield, pass knocked away by McMillan. Sims wants a flag, but he won't get it.
Nice job by McMillan knocking that pass down. Cesar Rodriguez applying pressure on the back end there on the quarterback home. Defense stepping up here a little bit, so hopefully they are able to continue that momentum.
So a big first down play is, and that throw knocked away by McMillan. McMillan has been pretty much picked on in this game tonight, Bill. They've gone his way many times as he's been matched up against, both Hayes and Sims tonight, mostly Hayes. Hayes has absolutely had a great game. Obviously, you just see 4 catches for 42 yards, but all 3 of those receivers, Bill, I mean, all 3 of them have had at least 40 yards. Sims with 40, Trey with 43, and Hayes with 42. So that just shows you what that receiving core can really bring to the table. Willie Carter was a guy they added in the middle of the season just to kind of, be some more depth in that lineup. As Ohm steps up in the pocket here, he's got some running room, gets a block, and now is being mauled down here by a few Axemen defenders. And Ohm just, not a big guy, but he has been showing that he's been tough to bring down.
Yeah, he is. And, Ohm is product of Concordia University in St. Paul. Spent some time with your Minnesota Vikings. He is 6'2", 215 pounds. So he's not a little guy, but he's obviously not going to be the big hulking back or quarterback. He's not a Ben Roethlisberger or anything like that.
3rd down and 2 upcoming now. Here for the Titans. Ball at the Axemen 20. They need the 18 for a first down. And this is where your defense needs to put on an exclamation point. Ohm looking downfield. Pass intercepted. Byron Best to the end zone.
Great job, that ball overthrown to Sims, and Byron Best just went up and got it. Very easy interception for him. Not a good pass by Ohm, but very advantageous for the Axemen. And according to the scoreboard, we can take the lead with a touchdown, although I don't think it's correct.
Score is supposed to be 36-29, but Bill, Byron Best, how much does that add to his confidence? Yes, it was a very easy pick, but you still got to make the play, and he makes it in the end zone, stays in the end zone. Very smart play there to do that, because now it's a touchback to get it at the 5 instead of the 1.
Right, absolutely.
So Byron Best, first career interception in his first career game with the Axemen, and it couldn't have come at a really better time.
No, it couldn't. Huge, huge play for the Axemen.
So now they have it starting at their own 5, down by 7. Here with 6.5 left to play. Valentine and Jarbo in motion. First down, they throw Jarbo. Pass caught by Jarbo. Breaks off a one man, and now he's taken down inside the 18. Titans players thought he was down, but officials say otherwise.
I guess I thought he was down too, but, getting back to that defensive play, they have played much better since about halfway through the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dixie wouldn't let them have it at halftime and just called them out on the carpet and said, look, boys, you bring it tonight, or you're going to have to probably find a new line of work.
And I'm a little bit surprised. I thought Ricky Johnson was going to at least knock that ball down, but that's great. That's a great play by Jarbo to make that catch.
Yes, it is.
First down, they give it to Matthews Jr., running up the middle, now to the right, finding some running room and getting some positive yardage. Gain of 4 for Matthews Jr.
Great job there by Matthews Jr., kind of putting on his DeMario Pippin imitation, where he was hopping back and forth, nice little jump cuts there, but getting upfield at the same time, not stopping.
And Bill, if you're the Axemen, you really shouldn't be in any hurry. I mean, try and use up as much time as possible on this drive. And, I was thinking maybe you take a shot, but why? I mean, you're running the ball so effectively now. Stay to it.
I agree. I think you just take it in chunks here.
Second down and about 4 here, as now they're going to look deep. Valentine, no, Jarbo in the end zone, incomplete. And Jarbo had that one slip right through his hands.
Yeah, and there was your shot that you're talking about, and Ackery took a shot himself. So he took a shot to the end zone, took a shot from the pass rush. Pass went incomplete. Now you're looking at 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that was, I was thinking of it, Bill, but at the same time, there's no need to do it. At least not yet.
There wasn't, and I agree with you 100% on that, Jamison. They didn't need to take that shot to the end zone. That could have waited. They should have just went for the first down, then maybe taken a shot on first down. But I didn't like that call.
Now hopefully they can get at least the 5 here and prevent any 4th down. Low snap, throws to the right, pass intercepted. And now here goes Jeremy Green, free lane to the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, and that's just a bad play all around, bad snap. Didn't get quite the grip on the ball he wanted, and then a bad route. Not a good combination for the Axemen.
So Ackery, miscommunication really between him and Jarbo. Not really sure what was happening there on the field. Results in a touchdown, makes it a 42-29 game. And still a lot of time left, as it's not like, it's maybe even better that, even though it was an interception, Bill, that they did score. It's tough to say that, but really no time is off the clock, and now your offense will get to come back on the field, but still it's a tough one to take.
Yeah, it is a tough one to take. There's a bad timing on that, but...
just right after that interception by your defense, poor showing by your offense.
Yep, was.
Extra point is up, and it is no good. Missing to the left, and I don't like to be a guy. Oh, go ahead, Bill.
That was a bad snap on that kick, and it was just, he kind of tried to rush getting the ball set, and it just wasn't a good deal all around. But you were saying?
Yeah, I don't like to be a guy to make things like this prediction-wise, but looking towards the end, obviously it's 42-29 is the score, not 30, as it still says on the scoreboard. If it's a 43-29 game, Bill, that's still 2 extra points away from tying it. 2 extra points away wins it now.
Yep.
if you do score twice.
Yep.
So I'm still shocked as to why they have the 30 on the board, unless maybe they just gave an extra point for no apparent reason. I'm not really sure.
No, they got pretty hats on. I don't know.
4:06 left to play. Axemen set to get the ball back after that decent start on that drive. Ended in the worst possible thing.
Well, we'll see what happens here now with this drive, but it's essential that we get good field position here if we can't take it back all the way. Looks like Warren Matthews Jr. will be going back deep now with Ryan Ballantyne. I don't believe I've seen him back there yet tonight.
Yeah, you've been used to seeing, obviously, Ballantyne and Pippin
right
back there. For most of the season, boy, and whereas the season gone, Bill, it was DeMarcus Washington back deep for most of that. And
that seems like forever ago.
Oh, my goodness, yes. And I haven't had any talks with Washington. Obviously, he's been released by the team, but not any word on whether if he's got a new deal with the team. Obviously, Thomas Gordon was a returner here. He's with the Green Bay Blizzard now, and DeQuan Starling, we've heard him with the Sioux Falls Storm. So kept in touch with a few of the guys, but haven't been able to reach out to all of them. As here's another watermelon squib here. Ballantyne fields it from the 4, takes it right up the middle. Ballantyne finds some room. And there you go. There's some good field position, Bill, at the 24.
Yeah, nice job there by Ballantyne, just getting up the field as quickly as possible, finding a lane, and he got great field position for the offense to start from.
So now it's up to the Axemen to use this. I mean, yeah, that turnover there, and Bill, maybe this is a situation now where, at least maybe not on this play, but the next play, maybe you do take a deep shot and try to quickly get back into this with a one-possession game.
Well, that's one option that you could take, and it wouldn't surprise me to see that here.
Jarbo lined up to the right along with Lewis. Matthews Jr. and Ballantyne to the left. First down. Ockery looks to the right. Pass caught. Jarbo along the sideline. Thrown out of bounds here by Brown. Gain of about 8.
Nice job there by Jarbo to go up and get that ball. He knew he was going to take a hit, but he was able to hold on and get out of bounds. It doesn't stop the clock here in the IFL, but yeah, why is the offense even huddling? Get going. Get on the line and call it.
As Ockery has to dash all the way to and from Coach Fuller here to get the play, but regardless, the offense, you should have a couple of plays already in your mind.
Yeah, and there's no sense of urgency here at all.
Second down and 2. Ockery looks now to the end zone. He has Ballantyne, but he doesn't throw. Ockery is going to be sacked here. Boy, did he have Ballantyne open in the left side of the end zone.
Yeah, and he had Jarbo on the left side too. They were open over there, and he didn't see him. I don't know what he's looking for. And here again, now we got to sit and look through our playbook, and then get the call in. This should have been done. They should have been talking about this. We don't get the first down. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm not really understanding this. Really just laid back approach at this. You're down by 13 points.
Well, and this is a professional football team. If you can't remember 2 plays, then there's something wrong.
Third down.
High school teams can do that.
Jarbo makes the catch inside the 5. All right, offense, you got to get down there. Let's get going here.
Yeah, both. They're just walking up. Nothing, no hurry, no nothing.
And now we see it. Here goes Ockery.
Okay,
gets the
let's
play.
wait for the defensive lineman to get out of our huddle. Okay, just get up there and snap the ball on him then.
Just walking to their side.
Wow.
Just over 2 minutes left. So much time has been used up already, over 2 minutes. They give it to Matthews Jr. running left. Matthews Jr. in for the touchdown. But still, Bill, we used up way too much time even to get the one score.
Yep, we did. And there's 2 minutes left on the clock. Well.
So 42 to 35, at least we think so. There's the score right now. And now we'll come on to the extra point to make it 42 to 36. As Ockery has the hold as usual, Rodriguez the long snapper, poking it on for the extra point. Very important extra point as it goes. Here's the snap. Hold is good. Kick on the way. It's also good. 42 to 36 is our score. Exactly 2 minutes to play. And Bill, this drive started at 4:06. 2:06 to drive 26 yards.
Yeah, that's excessive at least. But, you know, we're looking at the scoreboard. It says 42-37. You're saying 42-36.
Maybe we'll just start going with the clock
Did we miss
operators.
something? I don't know.
Well, I know it was we missed that 2-point conversion, correct? Because then 29-23, and then we got a touchdown after it was 36-23 to make it 36-29.
Right.
But the extra points was, oh man, maybe we did miss that.
I'm kind of wondering. Well, I wonder if we're not down by 5 right now instead of 6 like you were thinking.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Yeah, and maybe that's just my Minnesota math. Obviously, that should be a better stand than that. But boy, yeah, that's my apology. I thought for sure it was.
Well, come on now, you got to take care of that detail because if you can't do the math, we're really screwed. Don't leave it to me, man. I guarantee you.
English is my strong suit, Bill. Too. I'll agree with you there. So 42-37, everyone out there listening, is the score now as the Axemen trail by 5, and you got to wonder if this is the time to pull up that onside kick. You still got the 2 timeouts left, so honestly, you don't need to do it, but it wouldn't hurt to try. But at the same time, if Cedar Rapids gets at that close field position, they will try and keep running it down your throat, really to try and chew up the clock.
Absolutely, and then the thing is, too, your middle linebacker is hobbled. So you don't really want to rely on your defense too much, but at the same time, you kind of have to. I don't know. It's a good call here. That's why Coach Fuller gets paid the big bucks.
So Polkinen lines this one up on the right hash. Let's see what we will do here. As he kicks this one down the middle, takes a bounce on Brown, takes it in the end zone, and here goes Brown to the left, gets by a couple of guys, and now he's still on his feet and being taken down by his dreadlocks there, it looked like, inside the 24. And what a return it was by Brown. Really no blockers helping him on that return.
No, there wasn't. You know, had they done the onside kick, they so would only have the ball at midfield, so I guess I'm really not sure what the point of that was. Again, another questionable decision.
So Polkinen decides, or maybe it wasn't Polkinen, maybe it was Coach Fuller that decided to kick that split kick.
I'm sure that was Coach Fuller all the way.
Now the Titans have it at the Axemen 24. With 1:47 to play. Axemen with 2 timeouts remaining. Titans, I believe, have all 3. Gray to the right alone. And Hayes and Sims to the left. First down. Ohm will keep it running up the middle. Ohm is to the head of steam, running to the left and thrown into the dashers. What a play it was. Gain of 15.
Yeah, Lamar Allen ended up over the dasher on that, into the lap with some fans in the first row. Playing hard to the bitter end.
So it's a big first down here for Cedar Rapids. Now it was a first and goal right at the 10.
That would just all run that right down to the 60-second warning.
Now, at least for the moment, they're going to line it up.
They'll never get it off.
Now Coach Stout telling him to pause here. And now here's the 60-second warning here with exactly 1 minute to play. Axemen trailing by 5. Similar situation back on March 29th where the Titans were driving it down as the first regular season game between these two. Same exact score, Bill. Titans had it and ended up scoring a last-second touchdown to win it, 48-37. So very, very similar situation right now. We'll take a break. We'll come back in 30 seconds to finish this game from Palace Casino Field.
Sterling Silver Premium Beef provides culinary inspiration. Hi, I'm Brent from Lucan's. Lucan's Village Foods strives to provide customers with the highest quality meats at an affordable price. So we chose sterling silver beef. This beef, rich in marbling, is aged twice as long as ordinary beef. The results? An unsurpassed cut of tender, juicy, flavorful beef. Come taste the difference with sterling silver beef, exclusively at Lucan's Village Foods, where the food enthusiasts shop.
Welcome back here. 1 minute to play here from Palace Casino Field. 1 minute left in this building for the season for the Axemen. They'll have their final game of this first season next week in Green Bay, next Friday, June 13th. Oh, scary. Friday the 13th. Next week in Green Bay, Bill. Hopefully no one steps on any cracks, breaks their mother's back, anything like that. All those superstitious things that you think about.
Yeah, don't go under ladders and black cats and all that.
First down and goal for Cedar Rapids from the 10. Here goes Ohm to their right. Got to try and jar that football out, and now he is ruled down and pushed back here. Now the clock stops here as the Axemen will call a timeout.
Well, that was the first play that they needed to get, so now they need to make sure that they take care of business on second down.
Now to be second and goal from the 10. Here for the Cedar Rapids Titans. Plenty of time left, Bill. They need to make a big play here that really can put them over the top, much like Cedar Rapids did to them in that last game where they lost by 3, where they pretty much had it. It's still shocking to say how we lost that game. Second and goal. All wide receivers to the left. Ohm looking over the middle, pass caught, Sims, touchdown.
Well, they lined up their receivers on the left side, cleared out for Sims to be able to come in behind and make the grab for an easy touchdown. That will pretty much seal the deal, I think, for the Titans.
48-37, our score here.
And don't forget about the post-game autograph session.
So 48 seconds to play. This game not done yet, of course, as the Axemen will get the ball back, and then if they do score, they'll definitely have to do the onside kick with just the one timeout left. 2 showing still, but the Axemen had to call one to stop the clock on that last drive. And here's the snap. Belmonte's extra point is up, and this one is good. Back to a 12-point game, 49-37. Cedar Rapids in front by 12, and Bill, every single time we play them, it seems like it's been 4 of the 5 now we played them, it's been at least an 11 or 12-point deficit each time. And it's just amazing how it stays that way throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, it does. This is the 5th time we've matched up with them counting the preseason, and it's amazing. The games have been close for the most part, but we're still just kind of a step behind Cedar Rapids this season.
All the elements, all the things aside, it's hard to beat a good team. 5 times, you can't really count the exhibition, but 3 times even in a season. Obviously, you don't really ever see teams playing each other 3 times in a season in football, but
not too often, no.
At least in this game, it happens, and well, the Axemen are 48 seconds away from their 3rd straight home loss, and now to a 5-8 record. So going back deep now, Lamar Allen getting a shot at it as Valentine is on the sideline. He'll be back with Warren Matthews Jr. back for this kickoff.
All right, so why do you put your best kick return on the sideline here? I don't.
Yeah, good question there as well. Some Cedar Rapids Titans. Talking to some Axemen fans here. I think I even saw some Cedar Rapids fans all the way making the trip from Iowa. Because now this kick is kicked right angled out of bounds. Not sure if Belmonte tried to do that. I'm sure he didn't. As Belmonte kicks this one out of bounds right near midfield. It's going to be spotted right at looks like the 25. Not sure what the communication or the conversation is now, but 45 seconds left here in this home season for the Axemen. As they'll have 25 yards to go, and then another play to make on the special teams, as they'll have to recover an onside kick if indeed they can score here. So they'll have it at the 25. Jarbo and Valentine as usual to the left. Matthews Jr. and Lewis to the right. First down and 10. Ockery in the gun, fumbles the snap, steps up, now he'll have to run, and he almost lost it again. He's taken down for a 2-yard gain. Clock continues to run. Axemen, really no sense of urgency, and now they'll finally call their third and final timeout here.
And again, no sense of urgency. You nailed it right on the head. There is no sense of urgency with this team whatsoever. They are not playing with any kind of emotion. They're not playing to win the game. It's unfortunate.
33 seconds remain. They'll have it at the 23 after the 2-yard pickup by Ockery. Now they're going to say, Bill, that the Axemen didn't use a timeout back on that Cedar Rapids drive, so it's actually their second timeout. And I'm not really sure why, because it was a run call, I remember, from Ulm. And well, how the clock stops, maybe it is because it's the last minute of the game rather than the first half. I guess I'm not clear on that. Boy, lots of different curveballs they can throw at you in this league.
There is, and it's also lack of communication between the officials and the clock operators and us. We're just kind of speculating on most things. Then you lose your computer, and
second time it's happened now.
So, it's just some things, it's the first year in the league. You got to tighten some things up, and hopefully, with some experience comes some wisdom, and we'll be able to get all the kinks worked out.
So here we go, second down and 8. Ockery in the gun. He scrambles to the right, throws. Matthews Jr. makes the catch. Nice move there by Matthews Jr. Getting it up for the first down and out of bounds here. Clock still runs, but a couple extra seconds ran off. 23.5 seconds left. Really tough to really overcome this 12-point deficit now.
Well, why did they wait till the second half to get Warren Matthews Jr. involved in the game plan? And then it was after Pippin got hurt. So, that to me is something questionable about the game planning.
First down and 10 at the 14-yard line. Axemen with the one timeout left. Shot to the end zone is definite here as the clock stops. After the spot of the ball, Ockery looks and is sacked from behind by Jenkins, and that should all but do it. Clock does stop, but boy, what a bitter end to this game.
But fitting.
It is.
It's basically, it sums up the entire game.
And in some cases, the season. I mean, as we've said, some of the games where we've been unable to finish it off, even on the home field. And boy, you just look and just wonder, where do you throw the blame? It's everybody. It really is. And a lot of it can be turned to the play call. A lot of it can be turned to the personnel. Just everything.
I'll even take some blame for it, Jameson. You know what? I'll even take some. You know what? Because it's everywhere. It's the whole thing. If you're going to be competitive, you got to play better. We got to coach better. You got to announce better. We got to do everything.
10 seconds remain, and not sure.
Produce better.
Keep in mind, post-game show coming up right after this, as the Axemen will fall to 5-8, as they will go winless against the Cedar Rapids Titans, at least for this season. And they will be on the road to end the season next week at Green Bay to try and knock off the Blizzard for the fourth and final time this season. Second down, Ockery looks, end zone for Valentine. One-handed snag attempt goes out of his reach and is incomplete.
And I think Josh Ockery had a receiver open down the field, but didn't see him, and then waited too long to try and find Valentine and sent him into the stands.
Valentine flies into the stands. Last time this crowd will see him this season.
Now they're going to have one more shot here.
And looking at some games, and at least around the league before we wrap this one up, Colorado upends the Blizzard 49-47 in Colorado. Sioux Falls comes from behind, stays perfect, 34-29 over the Revolution. How about a game the Revolution gave them? Especially in that, obviously the toughest building to play in the IFL. Last play of the game here, Ockery is pressured, throws over the middle, pass caught. David Lewis, second catch of the game, breaks through one, gets a block. How about that? Just score a touchdown to end it anyway, even though we will lose. But Lewis gets a touchdown to end the game tonight.
Why not? What a way to end the home season there. On the touchdown pass, Josh Ockery. We'll talk about it in the post game.
So the extra points will not be attempted here as that will finish the game off here. Officials will exit the field, and that will go as your final here tonight in Coqualis Bowl number 5. Cedar Rapids 49, Bemidji Axemen 43. Will come back in a minute to break down the final stats and notes from this game and talk to Coach Fuller after this right here on the Axemen Radio Network.
It is retirement planning season, and the number of options can be confusing. Individuals have the option to use traditional IRAs and Roth IRAs. Businesses can use simple IRAs, SEP IRAs, defined benefit pension plans, profit sharing plans, 403B plans, 401k or Roth 401k plans. As an employee, you might have access to one of these plans through your employer, and it is very important to take advantage of matching contributions. Who can help you with the confusing rules of retirement planning? Call Alan Zutz, a certified financial planner and financial associate with Thrive Financial for Lutherans at 444-0202.
It's Strawberry Festival time at Perkins. Celebrate with 6 new items like the fresh strawberry and bacon pancake platter with 3 buttermilk pancakes topped with glazed strawberries and smoked bacon, plus 2 large eggs quick to order. Or try out the fresh strawberry chicken salad with fresh sliced strawberries and seasoned chicken breasts piled on garden greens with a mustard balsamic vinaigrette, Asiago cheese, and slivered almonds. It's Strawberry Festival time at Perkins for a limited time only. Perkins, get yours before we're fresh out.
We're back here for the Axemen post-game show as we'll talk about the stats here, but we might hear from Coach Fuller here early on here. First to the stats, Bill, first down comparison. We'll just start with the team stats, 21-18. Axemen got the edge there, 5 of 8 on third down, 3 of 7 for Cedar Rapids. Each team converted at least once on fourth down, and 4 turnovers in the game, 2 apiece, 2 interceptions for Ohm and 2 for Josh Ockery. He was 15 of 27 for a $161, 2 touchdowns. Spencer Ohm, 14 of 23, 139, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. So Ockery, pretty good debut. Obviously the 2 picks, but still did pretty well in his debut. Limited time this season. Ohm, 15 carries, 85 yards and a touchdown. Martin Ward, backup running back for the Titans, 6 carries, 6 yards, 2 touchdowns. Ockery, 15 carries, 52 yards on the ground. Good day for him as well, 2 touchdowns. Matthews Jr., 4 carries, 16 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. Receiving, Sims, 50 for the Titans, and Jarbo, 59 for the Axemen. As Coach Fuller now is on the headset here, he'll join us for the post-game show. Coach Fuller, break down this one tonight. 6 points lost for the Axemen tonight, but final game against the Titans. We wanted this game probably more than anything tonight, but fortunately just came up a bit short with your backup quarterback.
What was that now? I'm sorry.
Just came up a bit short with your backup quarterback tonight in a game you guys wanted probably the most, more than anything, against Cedar Rapids, but just came up a bit short.
Yeah, we did. It was a hard-fought game, after a very disappointing Texas loss. It was great to see the guys be able to bounce back and take these guys, to the wire. Unfortunately, we had some new faces in the secondary, and that really hurt us throughout the course of this game. So, it's unfortunate, but, look, the guys played hard, and they don't have anything to hang their head about.
Yeah, a lot of new guys getting some playing time now. Lamar Allen, a defensive back. David Lewis getting just his second game at wide receiver. Had some guys go down to injury. Jory Johnson looked like he was playing hurt pretty much the entire game after that injury in the second quarter. And it just kind of all went downhill from there despite just coming within 6 points.
Yeah, this is, we've been going since basically the end of January, so this has been an awfully long season. We got guys that are banged up. They're giving us everything they have. So, Joey got hurt right before halftime, and he fought and battled as best as he could. So, it's tough. It was a physical game, but again, the guys played hard, and that's a playoff team. It's a playoff team that's going to be playing Sioux Falls for conference championship games. So, I'm not a big fan of moral victories, but there's a lot of positives there.
Well, Coach, we end the homestand with a loss, 3 straight home losses, but now we got to take care of business on the road to end the season. We're 5-8. We get to play your former team for the 4th and final time next week in Green Bay. What do we have to do to get the win down there?
Well, we just got to regroup and just again, we know this is our last week. This is our last shot. So, hey, we got to make this happen. So, really, it's just regroup, prepare like we've been preparing the entire season, and come back and try to get the job done.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Best of luck next week.
Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate you.
Yep. Coach Fuller, head coach of the Bemidji Axemen, talking about the home loss tonight against the Cedar Rapids Titans. And, I've said it a few times already, the Cocalis Bowl number 5 to end the regular season at home. But then, obviously, we got next week on the road at Green Bay. But finishing off the stats here, Bill, just looking at wide receiver comparison, a lot of athletes there. I mean, Sims, 5 catches for 50 yards, leading receiver in the IFL for a few years now, 2 touchdowns with him. Brian Prey, 4 for 43 and a touchdown. Hayes, 4 for 42, so they have receivers everywhere with Cedar Rapids. Jarbo, pretty good night, 7 for 59. Valentine, 4 for 47 and a touchdown, so he climbs over 1,000 yards at the 1,010-yard mark. So he'll have 98 yards to go to tie it, 99 to break it. He'll have to do it against the Blizzard next week. Warren Matthews Jr., 2 for 31. David Matthews, 2 for 24 with a touchdown. And only the 2 field goals attempted tonight by Polkin, and he was 1 for 2. And Bill, overall tonight, not much of the same. Actually, yes, it was much of the same against these guys. Cedar Rapids, a team that's, they're 10-3 for a reason after tonight, and we're 5-8 for a reason. And boy, I just would have liked to see us get over the top and beat these guys tonight.
Well, and like you said, it's very difficult to beat any team in any league 3 times in the same season unless you are superior to that team. Cedar Rapids proved that tonight with all our injuries, with all our roster turnover, both off the field and off the field issues. We were not able to overcome those issues. And quite honestly, I was impressed by what I saw out of guys like Lamar Allen, who hasn't been with the team very long, but he came up and he's shown he knows how to tackle, where most of our defensive backs haven't this year. I was impressed by Jordy Johnson playing through that injury because his team needed him. Hopefully he didn't make that injury any worse. I see he is still down on the field signing some autographs. Josh Ockery coming through, he's the 3rd quarterback on the season, and he came and he's got 2 touchdown passes and led the team in rushing. So there was some very good things to this football team, but I think that some other things have to be looked at going forward to see where we can improve.
And it's just tough. I mean, such good efforts from some of these guys tonight that you haven't seen all season. Like you said, Allen, and then Wilburn getting the pick. He's had to anchor that defensive backfield. Yep. A lot of credit to him, but keeping that group intact. Yeah, they gave up 49 tonight, but that's nothing new in the IFL, especially against the explosive offense like Cedar Rapids. And then other guys. I mean, like you said, Jory Johnson going down to injury. He's been basically the captain of that defense all season long. Playing through injury, you're losing your starting running back to Mario Pippin. Warren Matthews Jr., a solid backup, has to come in and play more of a role. And then, last but not least, Josh Ockery, a guy who hasn't had a start all season long, puts up 160 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He did have 2 costly interceptions, but at the same time, so much to credit, and yet we still come up short. That's just frustrating, but great effort from some of these guys tonight.
It was a great effort, and we were very critical about the coaching staff and the scoreboard and the officials, but at the same time, it's a very entertaining brand of football for the Bemidji area and northern Minnesota area, really. And we want to thank the sponsors. I want to thank you, Jameson, for allowing me to come on the air with you this year. I had a lot of fun working with you, and hopefully we continue that. And, you know, looking forward to next season.
I am, and you know, we still got the one game left, but obviously the home slate of thing is done now, so it's tough to say goodbye with a loss this season, but at the same time, we got another game next week against the Green Bay Blizzard. That game will be on Friday the 13th in Green Bay. Next Friday, 7:05. That's slated to kick off from there. But that's going to do it from the Palace Casino Field tonight inside of the Sanford Center. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And if you couldn't make the game, of course, you know, we appreciate you guys listening all season long. And, of course, to our great sponsors that make all these broadcasts possible tonight. So final score, Cedar Rapids 49, Bemidji Axemen 43. Saying goodbye from Sanford Center, Palace Casino Field.
This has been Axemen Football right here on AM 870 KPRM and AM 820 WBKK and 103.1 FM. Sponsors making this game possible are Allen Suits, Thrivent Financial, Round in Bemidji, Holiday Inn Express in Bemidji, Lucan's Village Foods, McCardle's Resort, Palace Casino Hotel and Event Center, Paul Bunyan Communications, and Perkins Family Restaurant in Bemidji. We'd like to thank our sponsors and you for listening. Have a great night, everybody.